With no retreat, failures never taste the sweet. Science lessons learned in flight, journey on through endless night. For the stars, we aim so high. The poor jet did kiss goodbye. For science and purple light, we'll keep flying through the light. With hope so grand, EJ's got the master plan. Thrusters burn to reach the moon. In his eye you see the tune. Orbit dreams won't be delayed. Lessons learned from missions made. Kerbal time will forge a path to the stars beyond this path. For the stars, we aim so high. The poor jet did kiss goodbye. For science and purple light, we'll keep flying through the light. Rocket launch with hope so grand. EJ's got the master plan. Thrusters burn to reach the moon. In his eye you see the tune.
Time for space news. There we go. All right. Cool. What's going on, everybody? All right. I am EJ with the lights off. That's actually not bad considering I have no studio lights on. That is just the light from all the monitors. I am trying to keep the temperature in here like not terrible. Hi, will you cover Transporter 14? Yeah, of course. That's part of this space news. Sure. And bright EJ. It's weird because it's bright, but I have all the lights off. I don't know how I'm somehow washed out when I have all the damn lights off. Did you get a cold, refreshing drink? Dude, I just went and took a cold shower. That's what I did. Let's see. Does this work? 2 lights, maybe? Is that enough? Actually, yeah. Yeah, that's pretty good, man. That's pretty good. We could run a 2-light setup. I'm actually still washed out. Huh. The heat wave been rough on you? It got up to almost 90 degrees, Neptune, in the shop. In the office. The shop was even worse. The shop was about 100 degrees. I did open the door, guys. I vented the shop, though. It was a little sus. We vented it. Heat waves all the way up to Quebec. Yeah, you guys are getting pasted. Cape Cod is bad, man. It's pretty bad. I mean, I don't know. Maybe we could try with the lights. Let me see. Let me turn it on. Not bad. Yeah, you got our heat wave from the west. It hit 105 in Salt Lake. Yeah, it's we did, through venting the garage and kind of shutting all the lights off in here, we actually did we dropped a degree. It's 86 degrees in here instead of 87. Do you have HVAC in the office? I do, yes. Turns out that playing workers and resources made the computers very unhappy because they got really, really hot. Yeah, it's a little bit hotter than outside right now. Not good. Is 90 degrees too hot for you? Here in South Italy, we arrived to 105. It's a nightmare. It's actually not for me, Flavia. I don't care. I got that. Here, look at this. Look, you see this? You see that? See the tan? Does that look like? What does that look like to you? That is Italian heritage right there, man. Look at the tan. It's perfect. Look at that. Look at that. It's nice golden brown, man. I don't mind the heat. The heat don't bother me. It's the equipment that I'm worried about, dude. Dude, I have the genetics to deal with the heat. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Is it still a farmer's tan? Oh yeah. Yeah, oh yeah, it's still bad. Heat doesn't bother me. It's just I'm worried about frying something, that's all. We suffered driving through the desert. This is nothing.
No throttle up.
This is something. It's pretty hot in here, but I don't. Yeah, like the desert was worse, man, for sure. Anyway, so we got the transporter mission, Transporter 14, that's happening in about 20 minutes. The Space Extreme should be going live momentarily, so that's where we're going to start. There isn't much space news. I'll get through some quick stuff here. ULA launched this morning. United Launch Alliance launched an Atlas V 551, launching the Project Kuiper KA-02 mission. Is the heat in the room with you right now? Yeah. Here we go. Watch this.
2, 1. We have ignition and liftoff of the United Launch Alliance Atlas V rocket, carrying satellites for Amazon's Project Kuiper Internet constellation, continuing a new chapter in low Earth orbit satellite connectivity. 3.
What do you mean, starting a new chapter? Second mission. But anyway, everything went fine with that mission. We got a report from Tori Bruno that everything was hot, straight, and normal. Context definitely needed on this one. Ellie. I don't see Amazon meeting their FCC deadline with the cadence they have now. What are your thoughts? Up the cadence then. Yep. So that was this morning. That was the Project Kuiper KA-02 mission. That's actually 2 Atlas V launches that we've gotten this year. That's pretty good, man. It's pretty good. What does ULA have this year? How many launches have they done? They've done... Actually, you know what? Let me check on next space flight. ULA. So, 2 Project Kuiper missions. And that's it. Heck, the Vulcan mission wasn't even this year. That was last October. They've launched 2 times this year. Okay. Okay. But, you know, that's good too. Just check it. Meanwhile, the Transporter 14 mission that's launching momentarily here is the 77th mission this year for SpaceX. What goes first, Starship Flight 10 or New Glenn Launch 2? I think Flight 10, so scared. I still maintain that I don't think that Massey's is going to be, I don't think it's going to take as long as everybody says it is to rebuild a test stand. That's a simple test stand. They built it real quick to begin with. Just get a bulldozer in there once all the tanks are depressed, knock it all down, build it again. Whatever, no problem. Do you think the Kuiper production rate is the current bottleneck? I think, well, with the Atlas V skeleton, it has to be, because ULA has the Atlas V's already made. The Atlas production is pretty much finished. Assume it'll kick up when Slick 3E opens. Yeah, and the spot gets completed. Yeah, ULA is scaling. That's why we haven't seen many launches. Believe me, ask SpaceX. It's really difficult to scale and launch and keep the launch rate up. That's really hard to do that all at the same time. All right, here we go. SpaceX stream is up. Let's see what's good in the world of Falcon 9. So this is the Transporter 14 mission. The Transporter missions are a rideshare mission, meaning that instead of launching one gigantic payload like a Dragon or a bunch of decent-sized satellites like Starlink, right? This has a bunch of small sat launches from a bunch of different companies. Their Transporter missions have hundreds of small CubeSats on them. And basically what they all do is they all chip in a little bit, and they all share a ride into space. That makes space more affordable. I've always said that SpaceX is a billionaire's game right now. If we can make space travel is a billionaire's game right now. Like Jeff Bezos, Elon, Richard Branson, etc., etc. Missions like this make spaceflight a millionaire's game. Instead, there's a lot more millionaires than there are billionaires out there. So these types of transport missions are actually really good at expanding the market for satellites into space. And it's good for help growing the commercial economy, the commercial launch economy. So there is, let me see, how many satellites are on this mission? We got 70 satellites on this thing. 70 satellites on board going to Sun Synchronous. This one's launching out of Vandenberg Space Force Base. And it's, once again, SpaceX's 77th mission of the year. Now, the booster flying today is 1071 on its 26th flight, which should be completing a drone ship landing on Of Course I Still Love You, SpaceX's drone ship downrange in the Pacific. NSF made late night TV. NSF was on John Oliver, from what I understand, which is pretty funny. Whoa! I think the funniest thing out of all my buddies' reactions was the no from Max. The no, like no, bad rocket. Don't do that again. That's my favorite part. And then the oh my god. Will we see the deployments? Yeah, we should. I love the intro video. It's so good.
Discovery, going
Tito! Hey, a launch that's not in the middle of the night. Yeah, I know, right?
Good afternoon, and welcome to our webcast for the Transporter 14 mission. Falcon 9 is currently scheduled to lift off in just under 10 minutes from now.
We got Jesse.
From Space Launch Complex 4 East at Vandenberg Space Force Base, which is just a few hours north from us here in Hawthorne, California. My name is Jesse Anderson, and I'm a senior production.
Hey, come on now.
And orbital transfer vehicles, carrying 3 of those payloads to be deployed at a later time.
One of those payloads we're delivering to orbit today is called Mission Possible, the exploration company's second space capsule
100
prototype.
in Detroit, Robert.
The capsule will carry 25
water,
payloads into orbit and perform a controlled atmospheric re-entry and splashdown. All spacecraft on board today will separate from the second stage across 66 deployment events, scheduled to start around T+54 minutes and conclude about 2 hours and 43 minutes after liftoff.
All right, God.
SpaceX has launched more than 1,200 payloads to orbit for more than 130 customers across our entire rideshare program. This launch marks our 17th dedicated smallsat rideshare program launch between our transporter and bandwagon missions. If you're interested, we have a full list of payloads for today's mission available on spacex.com/launches.
What's up, Supercraft?
We are currently working toward a liftoff of 2:25 p.m. Pacific time. If needed, there is a backup launch opportunity tomorrow at 2:18 p.m. Pacific time. But right now, the weather is currently green on the Central Coast, and the range is ready to support. While the countdown continues, let's take a moment to learn a bit more about the Mission Possible payload flying today.
It is in our nature to explore.
Yeah, Redbeard,
the
it's
fabric
86
of our
in the
existence, built on
Little
a
toasty.
desire to understand, to discover, to expand our boundaries.
I should probably mute this. The music that they use usually mutes the VOD. It's in our nature to explore. We tighten wrenches, look at mountains, and do a bunch of other things all together at once, like playing the cello. And we've also walked on the moon. And we're going to find new ways to do that. Engineers, designers, developers, dreamers, doers, explorers. The children are our future. Look at this engine test. Look at this rocket launch. Look at this capsule. Is that the... okay. I don't want to see what they're saying, but I'm worried that the music, it's going to mute the VOD. I don't want it to mute the VOD. Why is that? It's okay.
Accessible, sustainable, and cooperative space worlds.
The Exploration Company. Space for everyone.
The Falcon 9 rocket supporting today's mission is a two-stage rocket
That's
designed
a
for
European capsule that's
reliable
being
and
developed.
safe transportation of satellites, cargo, and people. Starting from the very top of the vehicle, we have
Stage
the
1 RP1
payload.
load is complete.
We have the payload fairing, which might be a little foggy there in Vandenberg, but the payload fairing is a protective shell that houses all the payloads, shielding them from aerodynamic heating until the vehicle is outside of the Earth's atmosphere.
The shape of the fairing contributes to Falcon 9's overall efficiency, helping to reduce drag during flight. Once in space, the two fairing halves separate and fall back to Earth, where they will be recovered by our recovery vessel, Go Beyond, to be refurbished and reused on future flights. Both halves of this fairing are flight-proven, with one side flying for its 20th time
It's a little
and the
foggy.
other for the 7th time.
And within that payload fairing is today's payload stack, which was encapsulated just a few days ago. And there you can see a photo from midway through that operation, just before the fairing halves were closed in preparation for flight.
Yeah. See all these just little satellites. No, it's not a Tetris
And
board.
right below the fairing is the Falcon 9 second stage, which houses a single Merlin MVAC engine, Merlin vacuum engine, or what we call the MVAC engine. And below that is the second stage. Below the second stage is the black carbon fiber inner stage, and inside of that inner stage is where the MVAC engine is located.
The inner stage connects the two stages and houses the center pusher that allows the first and second
Falcon
stage
9
to
tanks are
separate during
pressing
flight.
for strongback retract.
So the truss structure next
good,
to the
Pat.
vehicle is known
Yep.
as the strongback, and that's going to start to retract. So
No, was that the capsule on the top? Yeah, of the stack, yes.
we're likely not going to be able to see the retract happen.
So they're talking about this thing right here, this truss structure. It's going to move that way. So it gets out of the way in
Below that,
preparation
we
for
have
the
the
rocket
first stage,
launching.
which we usually refer to as the booster.
Strongback retract has started.
Yeah, watch. You'll see it. It'll go this way.
The first stage makes up the bottom 2/3 of the vehicle and has 9 Merlin 1D engines at the bottom. Those 9 Merlin engines generate more than 1.7 million pounds of thrust. The first stage supporting today's mission will be making its 26th flight today, having previously launched 5 NRL missions, SARA-1, SWAT, Transporter 8 and 9, Bandwagon 2, and 15 Starlink missions.
About 2.5 minutes into flight, the first stage will separate and make its way back down to Earth. Today's scheduled landing is on our drone ship, Of Course I Still Love You, which there you can see on your screen, currently stationed in the Pacific Ocean.
At 3 minutes, T-minus 3 minutes and 37 seconds, all systems are currently a go for an on-time liftoff.
Guess not. I was going to say,
like today's significantly increase access to space for small satellite operators around the world, and we're excited to be able to offer these launch opportunities for our customers. In addition to helping drive down the cost of access to space by flying reusable vehicles, dedicated rideshare flights provide small satellite operators competitive pricing, increased flight opportunities, and flexibility.
As the demand for rideshare missions has continued to rise, our rideshare program was expanded to accommodate even more small sats looking for rides to orbit. Falcon 9 launched its second bandwagon mission last year, Bandwagon 2, a separate line of...
load is complete.
I was going to say there's LOX load.
There's a good call out there.
Press.
So Bandwagon 2 was a separate line of rideshare missions to deliver spacecraft to mid-inclination orbit,
that's not from LOX loading. That's
Transporter's sun-synchronous orbit. And Bandwagon 3
I forget what
earlier
venture.
this year
I think
in
that's
April.
anti-guys.
Mid-inclined orbits are appealing to a growing number of customers, especially to remote
whatever it is, I know that's normal.
Trust me. Coverage over areas like parts of Asia and the Middle East.
For more information on these and opportunities to other orbits, visit spacex.com/rideshares.
And with that, we're proceeding into the last few minutes of terminal count. For our next major milestone, we're waiting for that call out of second stage LOX loading completion.
And then after that, you'll get a ground gas closeout. Sebby, I remember that. It's killing you right now. Guys, what fixed it for me is...
LOX load is complete.
There we go. Should see event on the transporter.
The first and second stages are now fully loaded.
What I did... see the vent line right there? I hung upside down on my inversion table, guys. I have zero, not sore back, zero back pain. It feels like, it doesn't even feel like I got a herniated disc. I just hung there for a long time. I don't know if I don't think I permanently fixed this by any means, but I hung around on the inversion table and I felt something weird down there. So either I damaged something, I damaged the nerve and I can't feel the pain, or I knocked everything back into position, because I actually feel pretty good. Not stiff at all. Nothing. But anyway, should get into Falcon 9 startup here in the next 5 seconds.
Falcon 9 is in startup.
Good call out there. Falcon 9 is in startup. That means the internal flight computers have taken over the launch countdown. We're now just waiting for the final call from the launch director.
LD is go for launch.
Yep.
And great news there. All systems are go for launch of Transporter 14.
I think so, Toothless.
T-minus 30 seconds.
Should see the pad deluge system turn on here. It's kind of behind the signage. You can't see it. There it is. Deluge is on.
T-minus 15 seconds.
Sound suppression water system should turn on inside of 10 seconds. That's these things right
10,
here.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ignition.
Ignition. And liftoff of Falcon 9. Go SpaceX, go Transporter 14.
Transporter 14 flying in the air. SpaceX's 14th rideshare mission, making low Earth orbit more accessible for everyone. You can see that vehicle. Hey, there we go. I was gonna say, and it decided to cloak. New booster? No.
Chamber pressure is nominal.
On the contrary, this is the 26th flight for that booster. The booster flying today is 1071. Yeah, on its 26th mission, should be doing a drone ship landing. It's a 23-day turnaround.
We are T plus 40 seconds into flight. Falcon 9 has successfully cleared the tower and cleared the fog. We've got a great view there.
Nominal.
After lifting off from Space Launch Complex 4 East
All
at
this,
Vandenberg Space Force Base in
Starship
California.
flight.
We are now currently throttling down to prepare for Max Q. That's the point of maximum aerodynamic stresses on the vehicle. Max Q is reached when the air density of the atmosphere decreases faster than the increase in speed of the rocket.
And they call for maximum
coming up on Max Q here in a few seconds.
Max Q.
And there we've passed through Max Q.
Yeah, I can see
Coming up next, we'll have
pretty clear.
several events happening in
Vera,
quick
I can see
succession,
you.
starting with
I see you over there.
followed by stage separation, SES-1, and then the boost back burn. Main engine cutoff, or MECO, is where all 9 Merlin 1D engines shut down to slow the vehicle down in preparation for stage separation, which is where the first stage separates from the second stage.
2026.
Then the MVAC engine on the second stage will light, which is called out as Second Engine Start 1, or SES-1. This engine burn, lasting several minutes, will propel the second stage and the payload to orbit. The boost back burn will then assist the first stage in returning to its recovery location on our drone ship, Of Course I Still Love You. Then the fairing will jettison from the second stage, as it's no longer needed to protect the payloads once we are in space. Later, those fairing halves will separate about 30 seconds after SES-1, so keep an eye out for all of those events coming up shortly.
It's not an internal mission data, so they have the hosts commentating the launch. Documents aligned with prograde velocity in preparation for stage separation. Let me see, where's the white dot emoji indicating M1D ignition? Watch over here. Not this one, over there.
Go. Stage separation confirmed.
Wait for it. Wait for the white dot. Wait for it. White dot emoji.
MVAC ignition.
Go, chat, go!
And there we've had MECO, stage separation.
Everything
on your
looked good
right-hand
there.
screen, you can see the MVAC engine igniting. On your left-hand screen, you can see the grid fins deploying on the first stage.
The dot.
Which will soon make its way back down to Earth for a landing on Of Course I Still Love You. Coming up next will be fairing deploy in a few seconds here.
Yep, everything looks good. All numbers look good. Fairing's up there at the top. You should see it go that way.
Fairing separation confirmed.
Yeet! Yo,
Great
these are all the different
call-out and
CubeSats on here.
Great live view of fairing separation.
And as a reminder, those fairings will make their way back to Earth for recovery. The next major milestone coming up is entry burn on our Falcon 9 first stage, which is scheduled to occur around the T+6 minute mark. The entry burn is used to slow the first stage as it heads back towards our drone ship, Of Course I Still Love You.
What causes the multi-layer insulation?
Nominal trajectory.
What causes that to move around? Could be the auxiliary thrusters on the Falcon 9 stage.
We had some good
but it's most
call-outs
likely
that both
venting from the
vehicles,
turbine
both
machinery.
first and second
That's
stage,
normal.
are on nominal trajectories. And we are
Also,
currently
it's just
in our
vibrations.
first
Rocket
MVAC
engines are...
burn, and this burn should last another few minutes.
So I want to point out, guys, like, this is just kind of something that we take for quartz. Granted. Something that you kind of take for granted here is that these shots are nice and smooth. And it's been like that for a long time with SpaceX. This camera has to be isolated from the vibrations. The rocket's vibrating all over the place. But SpaceX does smooth it out with their camera somehow. I don't know how they're doing it. But yeah, the fact that we get nice crystal clear views like this is a testament to the design here. Because it should be, this thing should be rattling around all over the place. So the reason why I bring it up is what you're seeing here, dudes, all the multi-layer insulation, which is shielding the turbine machinery from the sun, because the turbine machinery needs to stay cold. It's moving around, and it kind of looks like it's windy. That's just the engine shaking. The engines shake. Rocket engines vibrate all around. Could be on rubber mounts. It's probably a combination of both. It could be image stabilization, a bunch of stuff. But yeah, everybody's like, oh, how's that moving around? Well, the rocket engine is shaking like a tree here.
And again, you can see on your left-hand screen a view from the first stage
all
vehicle
over
as
the
it makes
place.
its way back down to Earth. On your right-hand screen is the second stage, looking at the MVAC engine there, still burning. We have a couple more minutes.
You see it moving around.
On that engine.
It's the motor
until
vibrating.
The first
it does
SECO,
that.
which is the second stage engine shutdown.
I mean the pulsing. Yeah, that's most likely the venting or the thrusters. Oh. That's weird. It's weird to get a lost signal like
Just
that.
about 10 seconds away from that entry burn on that first stage.
Here's the best part.
The first stage is just using
retropropulsion.
its grid fins at the moment to help guide its way back to the drone ship, and this entry burn will help slow
Stage
down
1
the
entry
vehicle.
burn startup. Stage 1 FTS has safed.
There's that call out, and you can see on your screen that
engines.
the engines have ignited on the first stage vehicle. This should just last about 15 seconds for this burn.
Stage 1 entry burn shutdown.
And you heard that call out, as well as saw that the engines have
Yep.
cut
Come on,
off.
you.
As mentioned earlier, we are scheduled to land on our drone ship, Of Course I Still Love You, and this would be the 26th flight and landing for this specific booster.
Yeah, absolutely. Everything. Yep. All right. Supersonic retropropulsion is done. Now, first stage is going to go back down into the lower parts of the atmosphere here. You're really going to start to see the grid fins shake around.
And during the landing burn, we are expecting the shutdown of the second stage MVAC engine. This is known as Second Engine Cutoff 1 or SECO 1. We are about 30 seconds
Stage
away
1
from
transonic.
about 30 seconds away from the landing burn.
Stage 2 internal guidance.
Okay. Got a lot of low clouds on the Pacific here today.
Stage 2 FTS has safed.
Drone ship should be under the
And there
left
you just
grid
heard
fin
that
here
call
from
out
the
before
camera over
landing
there.
burn start on
Should
the
see it
Falcon
punch
9
through
first
there.
Stage. Again, this is the final burn that this booster will execute before touching down.
Oh, man, it's windy. It is real windy
Stage
out there
1 landing
today.
leg deployed. SECO.
Oh, yeah, look at it blow around in the wind. Whoa, careful. Oh,
Stage 1 landing confirmed.
see that? See it move?
Nominal
Yikes.
parking orbit.
And
Whoa.
there you just watched as Falcon 9 touched down on Of
That
Course
was
I
a
Still Love You, marking the 26th
shady
landing
landing.
of this booster.
Dang, man.
We also had SECO 1, which is second stage engine cutoff.
Jeepers creepers. It's windy out there, dude. That thing was going into a headwind the whole way. And the wind blew it around on the deck. Actually, I mean that's the drone ship wobbling, but still it's wobbling from wind. Yeah, Caesar, the Pacific's not being very nice out there today.
Coming up next, we have the second burn of our MVAC engine on board the second
It looks
stage
like they
of
were close to the
SES-2,
wind limit, Skyfox,
that'll
but it
happen
seemed to be
around
okay.
T plus 51 minutes.
That was a 26 flight for Booster 1071, which lives to fly another day. You could Aqualex, that'd be pretty cool. I'm not doing it, dude. But yeah, I'll bet you the dynamic pressure from entry is a little bit higher than it is on a
confirm
set.
that we did get a good nominal insertion.
Before we head into a coast, we want to celebrate the Falcon program on recently reaching 500 completed missions. Over the last 17 years, these 500 Falcon missions have restored human spaceflight to the United States, built the Starlink low Earth orbit constellation to provide low latency, high bandwidth communications from orbit, and with recovery and reuse, has radically reshaped the spaceflight industry, making the impossible possible on the road to rapidly reusable rockets. Go Falcon and go SpaceX.
3, 2,
Wow, Falcon 1.
1.
4 to 3.
First privately developed launch vehicle to reach Earth orbit from the ground.
And liftoff of the SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket.
Wow.
The Falcon is landing.
I was there for that. Demon. Dude.
Copy, Dragon is in orbit.
Dragon, we're go for launch. Let's light this candle.
Yeah, baby.
Vehicle is in startup.
T-minus 30 seconds. Rock, verify range, go.
Range green.
10.
My computer's in control of the vehicle.
9.
Launch directors, go for launch.
8. 7. LD, verify, go for launch.
I do too, but right?
6.
Crazy.
5. 4. 3. 2. 1.
It's a monster, dude. Interstage processing ring.
Congrats again to our SpaceX team. What an incredible ride it's been.
That's absolutely insane, dude. The vast majority of those launches I've watched, I'd say out of, I don't know, out of the 500 and change Falcon missions, I've probably watched about 400 of them live at least. At the very least. I miss them a lot nowadays because they're usually at weird times during the night, but it's crazy. Like, you know, we think about like, oh, Starship's failed 4 times in a row, right? I mean, albeit for different reasons, right? You think about all that stuff, and in the meantime, the Falcon program is just plugging away. It's just plugging away. Are there any Falcon Heavy launches this year? Hang on a minute. I don't see any on the books. But I'm probably not using Next Spaceflight correctly. I think Griffin, there's the Griffin mission, and then there's a couple of missions for the Space Force, I think. Yeah, it's not for a while, dude. So the vehicle's going to coast here for a little bit. How's your day? I'm great, FYI. FYY, excuse me. Are you going to cover all the payload deployments? It's going to take a while if we do, but let's do it, man. Why not? SF-75, SF-70, Griffin, and Astrobotic. It's an Astrobotic Griffin. 70 and 75 slipped to 2026. I thought Elon didn't really want to use Heavy, Falcon Heavy. He wants to use Starship for payloads. Yeah. Did we do the review already? Well, the Space and Rocket review is being roped into the Transporter 14 coverage here. What held NASA from accomplishing some of these amazing features? Lack of vision is the biggest one, Flickster. NASA does really good when they have something to do. You know, and it's hard to make a case for them for something to do if the president doesn't care. That's all. Lack of vision. Nobody's had the vision that since Kennedy. How many Starlink sats can they take at a time? I can get you that information. Give me 1 second. This one had actually there was a Starlink mission this morning, and it carried 27 Starlink V2s. Oh, okay. Personally, want to thank you for your coverage and commentary on these missions. Thank you. Oh, yeah, no problem. Thanks. Are Falcon Heavy so rare just because they simply aren't needed often? No, not really. Falcon Heavy was designed at a time where, you know, you needed heavy lift capability. And the thing is that Falcon 9's performance has been stretched so much over the years, Kai Fox, that Falcon Heavy ended up not being needed. Falcon 9 can just do what most of the missions that Falcon Heavy was originally supposed to do. That was the whole idea. Guys, the crazy thing about Falcon 9 is that a single-stick Falcon 9 with drone ship landing is by definition a heavy launch vehicle. That's in the same category as like Delta IV Heavy, which is surprising. Or an Atlas V 551. You could probably equal a Delta IV or an Atlas V 551 if you expended a Falcon 9 core. Actually, I rescind that. That's not right. You can equalize out those vehicles if you expend the core. With a drone ship landing, it's kind of like at the very bottom of heavy lift capability. But yeah, they really didn't. There's really no need for Falcon Heavy. As weird as that sounds, dudes, there's really not a need for it. The reason why is because Falcon 9 can just do what Falcon Heavy was originally envisioned to do, because Falcon 9 just got so good at what it does. Am I crazy to think they will send Ship 37 without a static fire? I will. In an expendable configuration, Robert, depending on where it's going, Falcon can move almost 24 tons to Leo, which is pretty much in line with Atlas 5's heaviest variant, Delta IV Heavy, Vulcan Centaur VC6. It's pretty much in line. Falcon Heavy is, yeah, it's really for the bigger stuff. Falcon's a monster, dude. It's a workhorse of the vehicle. It's in the same category as those, Kate. That's what I was getting at. Sorry if it didn't come out that way. Barely, but it is. Do you think they could create an adapter to allow ships to static fire on the OLM? Why, David? Why would you do that? In the time it takes for you to engineer an adapter to adapt the Starship to use Pad A for a static fire, you could have just rebuilt Massey's. And you wouldn't even need to re-engineer anything. Massey's is already designed. It's already been built. It's already been tested. That's the easiest way to do it. If I were SpaceX, I would not look at any other way to do this. Just rebuild Massey's. It's fine. I think Massey's will be up and running by the end of July, to be honest with you. And then the ship testing campaign probably into August. And then Flight 10 probably by the end of the summer. Maybe mid to late August, if I had to guess. Massey's, you guys got to remember, Massey's was built in 2 months. It was built in 2 months from scratch. Meaning like pouring the concrete, the flame duct, everything. It was built from scratch in about 2.5 months. It's not going to take them that long to rebuild. Most of that 2.5 months was taken up by the concrete curing. Now what they need to do is build another test stand. Massey's needs to be a twin test stand launch complex to avoid this problem in the future. If I was SpaceX, that's probably what I'd be doing. I'd be building 2 pads. One of them, just basically rebuild what you have for the Block 2 Starship right now. Once you get that up and running, expand, build for Block 3, right? Build the other stand for Block 3. Run the other stand for Block 3, refit the other stand for Block 3, the original stand. Flight 10's happening a lot quicker than you think. Sold in 2 packs. 2 is 1, 1 is none. Yeah, there you go, exactly. Wouldn't the explosion also take out the other test stand? God, if you don't put them next to each other, like maybe spread them apart a little bit. If it was me, I'd put some kind of containment berm around it, because what got Ship 36, what really ruined the entire testing complex, is dousing the whole thing with cryogenic oxygen. That's what really got it, man. I know everybody gives Elon credit for all these advancements, but I'd love to meet the group of people who really figured these out, the hidden heroes. There's no doubt, Flickster, that Elon surrounds himself with smart people, dude, but he's the chief designer, dude. He is. Whether people want to hear that or not is, I don't know, that's up to them. He signs off on all the major design decisions. But it's not to say that he doesn't have an army of people behind him. A lot of the people, yeah, Flix, he's the chief designer, dude. He engineered the vehicle. He's responsible for some of Starship's biggest stakeholder design changes. So like stainless steel, full flow stage combustion, that was all his idea. He does, let me put it to you like this. He's not some fat cat that sits behind a desk all day. You know? Dude, he is very, very involved with development at all of his companies, man. And I'm not just saying this to gain favor with him, right? I'm just telling you how it is, you know, like, I love SpaceX rockets, but I like everybody else's stuff too. Like, you know, I'm not just trying to gain favor with him or something. Like, he's hands-on. That's how that guy rolls. Chopstick catch was his idea. That's right, Kate. Yeah, tower catch in. Yeah, you got it. That was all him. With that being said, though, there is a very talented crop of engineers around him. But you guys got to remember, he's a boss that knows his product very well, and he helps work on his product very well, which is great in this day and age. And 2, he does what a boss should do. You should surround yourself with people that are smarter than you. That's your job. That's your job as the boss, right? Surround yourself with people that are smarter than you. And that's what he does. That's what he's been doing for like 20 years. You think he just started Neuralink and was like, yes, I know everything about brain surgery. No. He went and hired a lot of brain surgeons. You know? That'd probably be a good thing to do. It'd probably be a smart thing to do, you know? I mean, maybe, Kelly. We'll see. Talk more about that in a moment. Yeah, the reaction control system for Starship was designed on the fly during an interview with Tim Dodd. Yeah, right. Dude, if there's a problem with scaling production at Tesla, he's been known to just go down onto the assembly line and start putting stuff together to figure out what's wrong. Seen him do it. There's video of him doing that, dude. Guy's a hard freaking worker, man. He's stubborn. Stubborn dude, doesn't give up. You think with Apollo levels of locked in, could NASA make like a 2-stage 20-meter diameter rocket with an RDE? That would be a challenge, Erudite, but I mean, what's your time frame? Apollo locked in? I mean, sure, anything's possible. I know, Block. Yeah, Mechazilla is ridiculous. But I'll tell you something about Mechazilla. You know, when SpaceX first proposed that, when they first said, oh, we're going to catch it out of the air, I was like, all right, okay. When they first proposed it, I was like, yeah, you'll do that, maybe, right? And then when Flight 5 landed, you know, the weird thing about Super Heavy, that looks right. It looks right to me. It looks like a plane being arrested on a carrier, like an airplane landing on the carrier. At first, you're like, "What do you do?" Like that doesn't look right, and then you see it enough, and you're like, "Yeah, that looks right. That's what it did. That's what it should do," right? I couldn't help but ask myself this after Flight 5, like, why doesn't every rocket do that? Because it seems like, oh, it's so simple. It's like, oh, you don't need landing legs. Look, you just catch it, right? But that's the thing. Just because it's a simple concept doesn't mean it was simple to engineer. It means just getting that thing to land and do that is insanely difficult. Like, that's really tough. Yeah, Element, it's all over the place. Counterpoint, chief designer is a corporate job title, not an engineering license. He'd call himself an engineer if he could do it without being taken to task by the state licensing board. I think that's a frankly terribly weak counterpoint, Lux. I don't think so. Yeah, he's not an engineer. He has engineers helping him do this stuff, but he demonstrates a fundamental understanding of the subject matter that's better than probably 99% of CEOs running a company. I mean, listen to the other anecdotes in chat, dude. I mean, that's good for playing devil's advocate, dude, but I mean, yeah, not an engineer, I guess, by trade, but doesn't mean you're bad at engineering, dude. Look at me. Look at us. You know what I'm saying? Like, pretty good at it. Elon is overly optimistic. It's been 2 years. Been too many years of broken promises. You think so, Ike? I don't know, man. It's easy to promise something, right? It's easy to promise something in spaceflight. Talk is cheap. It's hard to deliver. I mean, by his own ambition, he takes the impossible and makes it late. You know? You could say, oh, he's not keeping his promise. He's late. He delivers. He delivers on his promise. Thus far, at least. Just saying. mean, everybody promises everything in the space program. SpaceX is the only one that's making forward progress on said impossible promises, dude. I don't know, just something to consider. This is the one with the re-entry capsules? Yes. Mm-hmm. Now, we're kind of waiting. We're in a coast phase here. It's probably going to take another, I don't know, probably another 30 minutes here or so before we get into the deployment. But, yeah, it's going to take a while. The rocket's out over Antarctica right now. He just has a habit of stealing more of the credit than he deserves. Do you think Tesla would be anywhere near as successful if it wasn't for him? Really? You honestly think that, dude? Was it Flight 5 or 6 where the tested the relight in space? I don't remember, Bodojo. I think we could convince Elon to make an orbit ring. We're not going to have to. Just Starship space stations. Just start flipping a Starship end over end. You're going to go. Have you seen the Kuiper replay? That's how we started Space News, mate. You know, I questioned everything about him after he lied about being a good gamer while he was paying someone to play on his Path of Exile account. I guess, dude. Strange. You guys are drawing the line at some very strange things. Now, I'll concede that, yeah, some of the things that he said never happened, but Tesla's working on FSD right now. Have you seen the robotaxi tests, dude, in Austin? No, but he's not a founder. Like, he forced them to call him that via lawsuits. He bought the company after they proved themselves as able to make a prototype vehicle. I don't know, man. That just seems like a weird place to put a line in the sand, to be honest with you. That just seems like a very strange place to put a line in the sand. Like, wow. You know. For the first, like, 0.5% of Tesla's existence, you know. He didn't found the company. But, I mean, you're gonna discount, like, the first year of Tesla's existence? Like, less than that, dude? Like, you know, he wasn't a founder. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess, if you want to be technical, but, like, I don't know, man. It just seems like a weird place to draw the line in the sand. They're not trolls, Ace. I'm talking to my viewers, man. I mean, I don't know, dudes. Like, you don't have to like him, but it's just some weird places to draw lines in the sand. That's all. Like, I mean, the guy's like the richest man in the world. You don't get that way from you know, like over-promising and under-delivering, right? Like, you don't get like that, dude. That's all good, Ace. Thoughts on the Tesla Top Gear lawsuit? I mean, I love Top Gear, Jeff, but It appears from what I can tell with the Tesla and the Top Gear lawsuit that they didn't say they omitted some details on the Roadster's performance that were not ideal. It's not a line in the sand, but it's a pattern of behavior. Use lawsuits to force them to call him a founder despite not being there for the founding of the company. That shows him muscling in to claim more credit than is due. No, I got that when you said it before. I understand that, but I mean, if that... Yeah, I guess if you want to hold on to a lawsuit from like 20 years ago, dude, like...
Discovery, go at throttle up.
I just like chilling to the tunes, guys. Hey, Jojo, 32 months. 32 months already. Close to almost 3 years. That's nuts, man. Yeah, Geek, that's what I'm kind of coming down to. I mean, if that's where you want, if it's like, oh, well, it's not a founder. He wasn't there for the first, like, 3 months of the company that's like 20 years old at this point. Like, yeah, I guess, dude, if that's how you want to roll, it just seems like a weird thing to be like, no, this is why I don't like him. You gotta be a jerk. Business is tough, man. Kind of have to be a prick if you want to get ahead, but I don't know, man. What was the reaction to the SN36 explosion? FYI, I was in bed, dude. I was in bed, you know, trying to rest my back, and I was watching the NSF cast on my phone, and I was lying down, right, and I saw it explode, and I immediately sat up, and I forgot that my back was hurt, and I was like, oh my god! Oh! It exploded. Oh, you know, it was something like that, dude. that is pretty accurate. And then I got up. I was like, I gotta go look at this on my computer. I gotta go look at this on my computer. Got out of bed, you know, back decided to go. My knee kicked out, and I kicked the freaking side of the bed frame. I was like, no, stop it. Like floundered like a fish to get to my laptop in my office down there. I was like, nah, you know. And then I sat down in the chair. I'm like, this is not good. This is not better. But I gotta type, you know. Yeah, Neonix, that's kind of what I'm getting at, dude. Like, I like that's what I mean. Like, I mean, if that's where you want to be, like, no. He's a jerk for doing that. Like, if we force people to call him a founder, like, I mean, you could make the argument that Tesla would be nothing without him, dude. Let's call it that he's the founder of the current inception of the company. You know what I mean? You granny shifted your legs. Oh, dude, it was bad. Bree was sleeping right next to me, David. I woke her up. She's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I have to go on NSF. The ship exploded." You know. She's like, okay, let's sleep. Yeah, VIPs are dunce caps here, Flicks. Just glad it wasn't a full stack. Yeah, well, that's why you have test stands, man. They just found a problem with those COPVs. At least that's what I think is going on. Your kid is going through the hiring process at Newport News. If he passes the welding class, he gets an immediate offer at $27 an hour, which is more than SpaceX starts experienced welders at Hawthorne. Okay. I'm not sure what that last tidbit of information is for, John. You mentioned that 2 times on the stream on Friday. What is what? Okay, cool. That's awesome, man. I hope he does well. I mean, Alex, I get the gist of what you're trying to say. The point is that you know, there's that pattern of behavior. But, dude, you know, like here's the reality of the situation, man. You don't get to be in his position and be a nice person. Like, and if you have a problem with that, I yeah, that's fair. I get that. Yeah, you got to be a prick to do business, man. Like, especially when you're doing business at that level, it's pretty high stakes. You know, like. That's something they don't say about, like, you know, all these tech billionaires. They're jerks. You have to be. Watch Silicon Valley. Look at where being a nice guy gets you. Silicon Valley's pretty damn realistic, you know? Have you guys talked about Vera Rubin yet? I don't know what that is, Hip. It's like being an F1 champion. Yeah, exactly, dude. Look at Max. Huge jerk. But got the trophy. Got the trophy to back it up, man. Lewis, same way. Seb, same way. That's just kind of how it has to be, man. Then explain Tori Bruno. In comparison, you... What orbit are we watching? This is the Transporter 14 mission here. It's coming up, flying over Madagascar here momentarily, and then we should start getting satellite deployments here in another, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes. Vera Rubin is the new ground telescope that takes wide photos of the night sky. Oh, that's cool, man. Explain Tori Bruno. He carries himself in public with very high decorum, which is, I think, everything we should hope to strive like that, dude. But you can't make the argument that he hasn't made some difficult decisions at ULA at least once or twice that screws somebody over. Like, you got to make difficult decisions like that. People are going to think you're a jerk because of it, but... telling you, this business is the satellite launch business is an extremely competitive business. I know plenty of people that work in it. It's launch services cutthroat, man. Pretty good for a partially assembled engine. Yeah, there you go, sedated, right? Also, when I put SN4 in Ship 36 side by side, the
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Jack still sounds like the SN4 streak. Yeah, if it was methane, it'd be igniting the flare, right? Yeah, it's good stuff, man. Hey, S. Lots of rocket missed. 8213 sub. But he's not going around claiming responsibility for Vulcan's design. Okay. This is the Transporter 14 mission. I mean, Flicks... I don't really have anything else to offer this conversation, to be 100% honest with you, without being a jerk myself. So I'm not going to. Guys, like... I don't know, man. Like, I still think it's just a weird argument to say that, you know, like Elon or Jeff Bezos, like, somehow you have rules about what they can and can't take credit for. It just seems like a very interesting, and that's a weird spot to be in, man. That's a weird spot. I mean, yeah, I guess. Like, okay. This was not a Falcon Heavy, Niels. The Transporter 14 was a Falcon 9 mission. It launched on ship, I was about to say ship 26. It was its 26th flight of 1071. So 26 on this booster. We're coasting around here. Transporter missions do take a little bit of time. They have to coast around the planet, and then they'll start deploying here soon. They really ideally want to deploy over ground stations, and you're not going to get any ground stations here in the southern Indian Ocean, you know. If Florida has Bob and Doug, what is the name of the one Callie has? Navigator. Go Navigator, I think. Or at least that was the name of it a long time ago, Mercury. Jesse said what the name was during the beginning of the launch. I forget what it was. I heard you say Flight 10. Are they considering the explosion Flight 9? No, Matt. Flight 10 happened. Flight 9 happened already. Just don't like his public behavior about it, and wish he actually let people doing the bulk of the design work actually get credit for it publicly. You could just say, yeah, you could just say you don't like him. But it's a weird line in the sand to be like, well, you know, I mean, I don't know, man. He's kind of the face of the company. Like, that's a weird argument to make. Like, he's just the face of the company. Homie. Like, the SpaceX is nothing without him. You know what I mean? Wasn't it the first 2 female astronauts flown in space? The fairing recovery vessels are named Bob and Doug. That's the ones that are operating on the Atlantic Ocean. I forget what the name of the one that's operating on the Pacific Ocean. Megan and Shannon are the Dragon recovery ships. Yeah. What happened with the telemetry? It's not updating because of ground stations, guys. When these numbers start changing, 522 will switch to another object. The velocity will all change. It'll kind of tick over like a slot machine almost. That'll indicate a reacquisition of signal. Go beyond. That's the name of it, Kate. Thank you. Why did the altitude just jump up? Because they had an acquisition of signal. That's what happened.
Launch and overall mission so far.
That's right, Tyler. We've had an on-time liftoff at 2:25
Loxcam.
Pacific
Did you
time.
see it? Lockstand camera.
First stage on our drone ship, of course, I Still Love You, which was its 26th launch and landing for this booster. And we also had a successful first burn of the MVAC engine on our second stage.
Hey, Adam.
Now coming up next,
skill test passed, dude.
And
congratulations.
Followed by a good coast phase, which entered about a 40-minute coast phase.
We're expecting the second ignition of
guess
our
they don't want
Merlin
people to see
vacuum or
MC crack.
MVAC engine here shortly. followed by our first batch of payload deployments.
Okay, they're chilling down the engine.
Today's flight is part of SpaceX's rideshare program.
To do that,
our rideshare missions launch multiple small satellites into orbit using a single Falcon 9 rocket.
That was a circularization burn. Very quick.
Nominal orbit insertion.
And we just had ignition of our second stage engine. We had SES-2 followed by SECO-2 and a confirmation of good orbital insertion. Now with that burn complete, we are on track to start our first wave of payload deployments.
Start seeing sat deploys
in
here.
Just a few minutes, and there you can see on your screen some of those
restarts can it do?
attached to the Falcon 9 second stage.
I don't know.
Now, as
we've seen it do like up to 3 to 4 restarts on orbit, Seacrack, and it really is dependent on how much triethyl aluminum and triethyl boron cartridges you can put in this thing. Yeah, you're gonna have to load a lot more T-tap to restart the motor. I think the most we've seen is 5. I think that's a huge guess, but it can be restarted a lot of times. It's a pretty damn good upper stage.
And we should hear callouts as the payloads are deployed. Additionally, we are expecting to have live views for most of these deployments today. And the first deployment sequence will begin with Quick 3, manifested by
I do believe so, O'Leal.
And will conclude with Dragoon, manifested by York Space Systems.
Curtis, what do you mean? COPVs have commercial on them. Does that mean crew launches have different COPV tanks? What COPVs have commercial on them? Sure, Ari. When the data proves that it's safe, sure. Absolutely. Does T-tap damage the thrust chamber at all? I don't think so.
So we're expecting the first of those deployments in just under a minute and a half.
Raptor uses a torch igniter and pneumatics, believe it or not. It uses nitrogen to spin the pre-burners to turn the impellers on, and then a torch ignition system. All right, we should start seeing these things pop off here.
If you're just now joining us, you are watching the Transporter 14 mission.
Over Madagascar.
This mission carries several payloads for multiple customers today. And we should have some live views. We are expecting payload deployments to start in about 45 seconds from now. And there you can see a live view
you'll start
on our
seeing
second
these things
stage,
pop off.
looking forward at our payloads. You're going to see some different views and some different payloads still attached to Falcon 9's second stage. Again, we will begin deployments in about 30 seconds or so, and they will be one right after another, so we should get some really cool live views of each.
You're asking, does SpaceX use their own proprietary separation systems, or do they outsource? The separation systems for the CubeSats are done by the creators of the CubeSats. They just plug them in.
IoT-10, separation confirmed.
I didn't see it.
Connect to IoT-11, separation confirmed.
That's not an updated picture, that's the other side.
Mobius 1, separation confirmed. UND Roads 1, separation confirmed. Connect to IoT-12, separation confirmed.
Yeah.
Good Ancestor Kila and Ridusat.
Oh, there it goes.
I
saw it. Top right corner. It came out of the dispenser. That's what these are called. That's
Jack 001, separation confirmed.
They're the dispenser. Direct in the dispenser.
Hyperfield 1B, separation confirmed.
It happens all the time, FYI.
TPA1, separation confirmed.
Oh, there it goes. You see it pop out of the dispenser? Cool.
Pierre, separation confirmed.
Can't see it.
Doothsat 2, separation confirmed.
Can't see it.
Satmar, separation confirmed. Connector IoT9, separation confirmed.
I saw something. No, never mind.
Autopup 2, separation
Oh, there it goes.
confirmed.
Yeet. That's pretty good. Oh, yeah, FYY. Yeah, I remember.
BRO18, separation confirmed.
Bro. It's a lot of billet going on right there. See all the billet? Look at anodized. Very nice, very expensive. Very nice.
Valme, separation confirmed.
Whoop, bye-bye. Oh. Oh, it's just the spring. I saw something up there still moving.
UND Roads 2,
Yeah, look.
separation confirmed.
Guys, a lot of these dispensers are just spring-loaded. Satellite is spring-loaded, and the dispenser mechanism just has a latch at the top. Latch opens, spring decompresses, and shoots the satellite out. See the spring up there? You can actually see it. It's right there. It's still sprunging around. Sprung. This is cool. I like watching this. It doesn't need to be complicated, right? Like,
Fossasat 21, separation confirmed.
I don't see it.
Arkstone, separation confirmed.
Can you make a springing Kerbal? Yeah. A decoupler, basically. does it
Ion
for you.
SCV, passionate polar, separation confirmed.
Over there, behind the exo satellite.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Hey, me. What's going on?
IOD2 Starticle, separation confirmed.
Yeah, Adam. I'm having trouble placing it, dude.
Forge Star 1, separation confirmed.
Could a company purposely send something in a rideshare to get science?
MMS1, separation confirmed.
On Falcon 9 deorbit and reentry. Sure. Oh, there it goes. Top of the screen. Washing machine separation confirmed. Sorry. We got 70 payloads on board today. I think the vast test payload is on this one, Andrew, but I'm not sure where it is. I think it's up at like the very top. Mini fridge separation.
RS1, separation confirmed.
Separation confirmed. Haven demo is not on this one. So it's the European Space Agency's reentry vehicle test. Cool. When will it re-enter? I'm not sure, Cyborg. I had to mute the promo footage about the Nix reentry, the Nix reentry vehicle, because it had B-roll music that had claimed the video. So I
RS2, separation confirmed.
Actually don't know. I'll get back to you on that one, man.
Constella Sky B2, separation confirmed.
Can't see it. I want to see these EXO satellites go. The EXO launch satellite. I want to see that thing yeet right out of it. But then again, guys, I think that might be a dispenser. So I'm not sure if we're going to see
Varda's W4, separation confirmed.
Maybe ULA should test smart reuse on one of these missions. Curtis, ULA did that with a lofted demo, which was a rideshare mission on an Atlas V. Jay mentioned that Starship door with a spring. It had finally opened. Yeah. Yep, the Varda capsule just popped off.
Pulsar IOV, separation confirmed.
Oh, bye-bye. See that? There it goes. And there's some pixels. Got to keep your eyes on the screen, man.
It's your great call out so far for those payload deployments. We've now got just 2 minutes
until
the final payload deployment sequence.
10 more refrigerator, separation confirmed.
And we did get some cool views of some of those CubeSats and microsats being deployed there. We should be able to see more during the rest of this mission. And as Tyler mentioned, we are
not much
just
fluffy,
under
but the heaviest
a couple
versions
minutes
of Atlas are
away from the last payload deployment in this batch. There's going to be 3 batches, so we're still in the first batch of deployments and have 1 more deployment to go. Once again, if you're just now joining, you are watching the Transporter 14 mission. We're currently in the first batch of deployments of 3. We've deployed 29 payloads so far. We do have 1 more to go coming up here.
Separation confirmed.
Oh, there it goes. Bottom. Oh, over there. I saw it.
All payloads in the first deploy event successfully separated.
All right.
And great timing. That confirms the first batch of payload deployments is now complete.
Yeah, Curtis, I got you.
Next up, we are going to coast until the 3rd MVAC relight, or SES-3, which should occur at about T plus 1 hour and 41 minutes. Until then, enjoy the space views and the space jams.
Oh, man. Hour and 41 minutes. We're going to have to double box this. Feed's breaking up a bit there. Space news time? Yeah. We'll keep that going in the background, dudes. So we'll jump into the rest of the Space and Rocket review, but I will keep this on in the background. I gotta figure out how we're gonna do that. Actually, I think I'll just keep it going. Just keep it open window. All right, so we did Project Kuiper, got all that. What else do we have? So this is coming from the NASA Mars account. Exploring an area previously only seen from, you know what, I'm going to shut the space tunes off. We'll just pop back in every once in a while. Exploring an area previously only seen from orbit, Curiosity rover has found dramatic new evidence of ancient groundwater. The rover is using its drill to snag samples of rock that will give geologists new clues to how this area formed. All right. Some of them are, they vary in size, Ale8. So I'd say like the biggest ones are probably the size of like a mini fridge. Smallest ones are probably about the size of a shoebox. Believe it or not, satellites have different classes, and the class does go by size. There's like a 1U CubeSat, which is about the size of a shoebox, all the way up to like a Geo class satellite, which is the size of a school bus. Yeah, man, and every size in between. They found brown water? No, groundwater. Groundwater. Fine. I mean, it probably was brown, to be honest with you, if they did find it. It's Mars, so probably would have mixed with some iron oxide. It probably would have been brown-ish water. He's had a Death Stranding 2 screenshot. I'm going crazy from the heat, man. Crazy from the heat. As long as it wasn't round water. What's wrong with round water, you racist? What's round water? What is that? I don't know what that is. Yeah, but I don't want to know if I want to. Oh, wow. Dude, that new telescope. Whoa. Oh. Look at NASA spaceflight, Department of Energy, Vera, it's National Science Foundation, but also Vera Rubin Observatory. Oh my God. Not bad for an in-atmosphere telescope. That's pretty good, man. That's pretty good, dog. Do you think a sample return mission will ever go ahead before a human mission? I don't know, man. The Mars sample return program, Curtis, is very incoherent. I could probably pee patterns in snow that are more coherent than the management of that program. But you know. And it's pre-operational, the telescope. Nice, man. That's cool. NASA's Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter has discovered extensive deposits of sodium chloride, table salt, and other salts across the planet. Ooh, salt. Are you trying to tell me that Mars is very salty right now? It's probably upset. Did get taken over by robots. And I'd be pissed too. You live in Massachusetts. You have plenty of time to practice. So did they. So did they. The Mars sample return program has been around a good while. Hang on one second, I gotta answer a message. Give me 1 second. Okay. Anyway, a message. You are fired. Oh, tell them you said hi? Sure. Also, chat says hi. Done. Perfect. Excuse me for 1 second. No. Excuse me for 1 second. No. I mean, yeah, dude, an Optimus on a Starship is like RE Mars sample return. The program, let me put it to you like this. The program management for the Mars sample return since its inception has been so atrociously bad. I honestly have more faith that a Starship with an Optimus on board will bring back a Mars sample return before that program even gets anywhere. Yes. Now, I'm no SpaceX fanboy here. I know good and well the odds of an Optimus bringing back a rock from Mars is a little bit on the far-fetched side. And yes, that's the point I'm trying to make. Mars sample return is the Mars sample return mission right now, guys, is not even a Mars sample return mission. What everybody's calling Mars sample return right now is a planning committee to plan how you're going to do Mars sample return. It's a plan for the program. It's a plan for the plan. Yep. That's what it is. It's planning the Mars sample return program. That's what it is. That's what MSR is right now. Get rid of it. What a waste of time. What a waste of time. Like I said, Optimus has better odds of getting a rock back from Mars on a Starship than that program ever doing anything of use. What are you preparing? You're always preparing. Just go. Just go. Sir, you better buckle up. No, like. Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. I blew a gasket when they canceled Mars sample return. That was not a good day for me. that was not a good day for EJ. Yeah, buckle this. Ludicrous speed. Go. Yeah. That was not a good time for you, boy. There's the satellites that it deployed. That's what those things are back there. Oh, came around into the daylight. Hello. Solid oxygen left from purging the engine out. Spaceball 1, it's gone to plaid. Home Planet just reminded you that our president's signature line of his TV show was stolen from Back to the Future 2. Home Planet, I don't think that's how that panned out, to be honest with you. You fired is something that's been around well before Back to the Future 2, homie. So here's a wild thing. That new telescope is intended to take a picture of the entire night sky once a night with resolutions close to that of Hubble. What is it, guys? Dude, my telescope game is weak. I'm not going to lie to you. The Vera Rubin Observatory. Yep. Good night, 1000. Try to get out of the heat, man, if you can. If you're suffering from heat. You mean the guy from Home Alone? Home Alone 2. Down the hall and to the left. Yeah, that guy. One of the guys combing the desert is Tuvok from Star Trek Voyager. In Spaceballs, yeah. We ain't found nothing! Yep. Not a thing, sir! Not a thing, sir! Frozen oxygen looks like proto-molecule. It's the wrong color, but yes, the work must be done in. I'm okay, temps are okay this week. Lucky. Lucky. Ah, Dad, look at what second stage is over. It is over one of my favorite countries other than my own country. Look, very nice. If only we could get shot of Finland from space, that would be very nice. Would Rook fund a Hubble rescue trip on his own? If NASA allowed it, Fluffy. Oh, dude, that actually reminds me. There's some pretty cool space news. Check this out. It kind of has to do with Rule 8, but it kind of doesn't. Look. So, check this out. First of all, this is hard to watch, but it provides context. This is hard to watch. I hate it. I hate it a lot. I hate it a lot. There. Anyway, look. Rook responded, "There is another." Please, and Connor reviewers said, please use your influence to lift the ban on operational Tomcats here and get one into your incredible fleet.
Discovery,
check this out.
Up.
Hey, Space Pope. Everything's going good, man. We're just enjoying the transporter mission in the background here. And check this out. Rook says, if my recent time in DC and the political connections I have made serve any purpose, it should be to get a Tomcat out of the Boneyard and bring the turkey back to life in honor of USN heritage. No idea how successful it will be. It will take an act of Congress, but it can be done. Please do this, please. Aren't they unflyable if they're in the Boneyard, though? I'm not sure, Cirrus. I don't know what the state of those planes are, dude, to be honest with you. I have... Nah, that's speculation. I don't know what those... There are airframes in the Boneyard, dude. They're there. You can see them on the Googles. On the goggle earth. So if we go and look, we can see the most recent image of the boat. There's like 5 to 10 of them, dude. I counted last time we zoomed in here. There's still some of the F4, my beloved. My beloved F4. Please stop blowing them up. F4s. Am I dreaming or is EJ live at 7 a.m.? Okay. Look at all the F4s. Can I have one? Can I just have one? It doesn't even need to work. I just want one. Now, where did I find... There's F-15s, F-16s, C-5s, F-15s. Where are those F-14s? There they are. There's some of them. So there seems to be 4 of them right there. A lot of F-15s, though. There's more. Oh, there's more F-4s over here. Please. Please, can I have one? Just one? There's more F-15s over there. Where are the other F-14s? I know they're around here somewhere. C-130s, 707s. Lots of C-1. Dude, Canberras. What are those doing there? Those are just B-57s. And then there's 3 RB-57s right there, which is just... Alright, that's a little peculiar. Pick way a year. Got some F-16s over there. Op-4 F-16s. Where are the other F-14s? Maybe they're over here. F-A-18, CH-46s, F-18, F-18, F-16. There was another set of them over here somewhere. This music is banging from SpaceX, though. So far, the only ones that we found were down here. There's 4 of them. See, fellas, from these pictures, this still has all the covering on them. I wouldn't be surprised if those are like good F-14Ds. They don't look like they've been gutted. I mean, I get it, it's a satellite picture, but like a big thing to spot is whether they have covers over the engines. See? Covers over the engines, covers over the cockpit. See all that stuff right there? That means they're good. Like they haven't gutted them because they're worried about FOD intrusion, which means there's at least a couple airworthy frames here. They would never allow it, but I would like to see them get a B1. They would never allow it, Goalie, but you would like to see him get a more classified plane. Yes, yes. I'll be honest with you, I don't think they'd have to worry about it anymore. It's not like there's any other adversaries out there that have F-14s anymore. So, I think these are F-14Ds if I'm looking at them right. Because that's the only one that the US was using. The D variant. They were only using those when they retired them. T-38s, A-10s. They could easily have them somewhere else. Well, I count at least 4. If those are 4 good airframes, that should be enough to make one air. Like if there's a 4 complete, that should be enough to make some. I'm just really wondering what they're doing with all these B-57s up here. What the hell are those there for? And I could have sworn I saw more of these things. There's Harriers right there. A lot of KC-135s. It says Pima has an F-14A. I mean, F-14A is kind of a piece of junk. Wait, what's that? Dude, look at all the... What are those, E2s? No, those might be... Those are C2s. Greyhounds. A couple of C-130s. Dude, this looks like Watto's junk shop, man. That's crazy. It's like the entire fleet of C2 Greyhounds are just here in pieces. Man. Interesting. Ah, yes! Nubian! We got lots of that. Oh, freaking antique right there. I don't know, it looks like at the Boneyard there seems to be 4 of them. I don't see any more. Or are all the F-111s? Scrapped. Is that the Armard? Yeah. Wait, what do we got here? Just a field of F-16s. Oh, that's so cool. Wait! Oh, I found another one! Jet, shut up! I found one more! 5! Hey, alright. Alright. Wait, any more up here? There's another one. 6. F-105, F-106, F-4, F-101, F-A-18, A-10, F-8 Crusader, F-16, B-57, F-14, A-4, F-15, A-6. Dude, what is that thing? Oh, I forget the name of that one. There's an F-111 right there next to another F-4. KC-10. So I've found 4, we have 5, and then 6 is the one that's over there. A2 Sky Warrior. There's a bone right there. There's a B-52. There's another bone. There's an old runway threshold right there. That's got to be the tour route right there, dude. So there's 6 F-14s I'm counting at the Boneyard right now. If those are all complete F-14s, guys, that's enough to make a good one. I'm pretty sure. You could probably part out enough to make it work. Where are the chop B-52s? Furthest out. Right there. I hate that. I don't like that at all. There should be 10 in total at the Boneyard, according to public information as of February 15th, 2025. 10? Exactly why I'd like to go there with you. Hey, EJ, what am I looking at? 10? I've counted 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then up here, 5. 6. Should be 4 more. Those are all A6s. Those are S3s. Hueys. Or no, Blackhawks. Yep, those are UH-60s. Check Pima along the road. Hangars? They don't have hangars. Lots of F-18s, CH-46s, MH-53s, F-A-18s. What are these? T-38s. Oh! Those poor F-15s! What did you do to them? It's like, where's Waldo at this point? Yeah. Well, goalie here. That's a good picture to show. See, fellas, look. Look, look, look. See what I'm talking about? That's a complete frame. That absolutely is a complete frame. See all the covering that they put on it? They put all the coverings on it so foreign object debris doesn't get inside of it. See how they covered up the canopy? That's a good airframe. Now, it's a good airframe. Whether it's complete or not, I don't know. And yes, that's absolutely an F-14D. Tow hook, arrestor cable, that's the D variant. It says they've been stripped. Why would you cover everything up? They're gonna need it for Top Gun 3. Well, that's what I'm saying, dude. Why was that F-15 chopped in half? That poor F-15. Why would you do this to an unsuspecting F-15? That poor A-10, what did you do to it? What are those wings to? I'm gonna go ahead and guess they're wings to whatever that was. It's an F7.5. Oh, you got him, Hip? Did you find the other ones? What do you got, dude? Ah! No! Oh, that hurts so much, man. This is Pima. Can't see me. Or not Pima. This is Davis Monthan. That's so bad! Oh, what did you do to those things? Now, see, those ones are stripped. See how they don't have any coverings? The canopy isn't covered or anything? Those ones have been stripped. There's a Payload over there. Got some A4 Sky Raiders right there. So, That's 7 and 8. There should be a couple more, dude. There should be 2 more around here. Two are still unaccounted for. So this is like standard pick and pull. It's a pick and pull for the Air Force, dude. Yes. No way, goalie. I don't... Dude, I told you that would have been scrapped a long time ago. If it is, I'd be very surprised. CH-46s. MH-53s. I love how the Air Force just stockpiles, just has like thousands of 707s to maintain like the AWACS fleet and the KC-135s. P-3 Orions. What do we got over here? Those are Harriers. We've already seen that. More P-3s. The other ones might be in hangars, dude. Wait, what's that? F-16. It's just cut up. AH-1 Cobras. From all the wreckage you found, she was last seen there. How many World War II planes you see flying around here, man? Well, none. How many planes do you see flying around here? None. Wait, what do we got here? Oh. Dude. What the hell are those doing there? There's a Thor missile. 2 of them.
Discovery.
There's a Thor missile and a Titan 1. That's a Titan 1, dude. Titan 1 serial number 4498. I know it's a Titan 1 because its upper stage is sitting over there. Frickin' Titan 1! What the heck? Those are 2 Thor IRBMs right there, intermediate range ballistic missiles. If you're a spaceflight fan, you probably know them a little bit more by their civilian name, which is Delta. The Thor IRBM evolved into the Delta 1 and the Delta 2 rockets. I mean, not in that order, but you get the idea. I don't know what that thing is. I have no idea. It looks weird without a Gemini capsule. Well, that was a Titan 2. Titan 1 had a different stage here. What's the serial number? 4498. How long are we until it deploy again? Oh wow, she's up over almost over Canada. Oh no, she's passed over Canada. I saw a Thor engine yesterday at an Alamogordo museum. Gotta flip her around. Just trying to look around to see if there ain't... Wait, what are those? Right there. F-16. That's an F-16. So is that. Yeah, we got 8 in change here. I don't see any more, guys, unless you see anything hanging around. We saw that one already. We got that one. AH-1s. Transport stands, all kinds of transport cards there. What's the spiral thing? Take a look. So we got the Transporter 14 mission on in the background, guys. What's the spiral thing? Radar. That's a radar antenna. These are E2s. Those are E2 Hawkeyes. That's the radar. Sometimes they paint a spiral on them depending on the outfit. That's why these planes have 4 vertical stabilizers. Because there's a frisbee on the top. It mounts right there. Did you hear that the Air Force is getting rid of all their AWACS? So this is a Navy. This is a Navy plane, the E2. The E2 Hawkeye and the C2 Greyhound. They're an airborne warning and control system that the Navy uses. So you'd send out one of these things, and it basically works like an air traffic control tower that helps coordinate like a bombing run or something. I'm not sure I've said this the other day, but get a Tomcat flying with the F-35 guts. This engine put out more thrust drive than an F-14's ever had on full burn. An economy of scale should help with the price. With the half-glass mods and the second seater managing the accompanying CTA drone storm with loitering munitions, that would be wild. Hey, a Super Tomcat almost became a thing, Aqualux. They decided to make the Super Hornet instead. Oh, dude, look at all the B-1s. Trying to see if there's not like an F-14 just hiding in these herds of bombers. Yes, herds of bombers. I don't see him, dude. It's just those ones. Some of you guys said check Pima. Alright. Pima's just across the street. Pretty sure Pima has 2. That's a Sukhoi. Tornado. F-111, F-101, F-105, F-105, F-4, F-15, A-7 maybe? F-106, F-106, F-100. Do they really not have an F-14 over here? That's an F-101 right there, F-104, T-38. No. The Tomcat might be inside, guys. But there are plenty of Tomcat shells around.
Welcome back to our live coverage of the Transporter 14 mission.
Yeet.
If you're just joining us, we're continuing to have a great mission so far. Just to recap, we had an on-time liftoff at 2:25 p.m. Pacific time. Recovered our Falcon 9 booster for its 26th landing.
They do move in herds.
Completed 2 separate second stage burns so far.
Say, what's up, man?
We also saw the first deployment sequence of 30 payloads, and we now have 36 more to go. Coming up shortly is the second relight of our second stage Merlin vacuum engine for a roughly 1 second burn. There's our live view.
What a shot, dude. I shifted so you guys can see the telemetry when the engine starts.
We are just under 2 minutes away from that expected SES-3 or second stage engine start 3. That is going to be the third burn of the 5 that we have planned for tonight's mission.
That's right, yeah.
And there you can see on your screen a view looking aft on our second stage vehicle.
So they're venting the engine, right? Or they're chilling down the engine by opening the vent lines?
We're currently coasting. Again, SES-3 is coming up here in about a minute or so. And
nice, Archie. That's cool.
Burn for just about a second. Very quick burn for the second stage.
It's just an adjustment in its orbit, Hermia. It changes what's called the phase of the orbit just a smidge, because there's satellites that are going to different orbits. Now, the thing is that all these satellites are in low Earth orbit, right? But they might be going to slightly different orbits. But the Merlin vacuum engine is insanely powerful. It's about a meganewton of thrust coming from that thing. So when you're in low Earth orbit, it's a lot of engine for not a lot of change. So that's why you get these small burns. If this was a smaller engine, like an RL-10 or something, or like a Draco thruster, this burn would be a lot longer. But that thing is really powerful. We are waiting
for SES-3 coming up here in about 30 seconds. Just patiently waiting for that third burn of this MVAC engine on the second stage.
Yeah, Dark Root. There's Tomcats. There's a good amount of Tomcats all over the place, but the Tomcats that are in museums, dude, are shells. I'll explain why in a second. I want to see the burn. Watch. Let's see if these numbers start going. Look at that picture of Earth, man. Oh, what a plan. I'm a fan.
MVAC ignition.
Spool.
Shutdown.
Ignition. See how they didn't? So it didn't change its velocity too much. There wasn't much of a velocity change there. That indicates a radial in, or actually a coplanar normal, a coplanar anti-normal burn, meaning that they slightly changed the inclination of the orbit. They didn't change the velocity too much. Velocity only fluctuated by like maybe 1 kilometer an hour. That indicates an inclination change.
Plus 2 hours and 16 minutes.
There's a little bit of solid oxygen just floating around over there. How much does a fully fueled second stage weigh?
Just before the third relight of the MVAC engine, which is about 30 minutes from now, and that will occur about 4 minutes before the next deployment.
They're venting down the engine, purging out.
Enjoy those space jams, and we'll see you then.
More space jams. So, Dark Root, we were talking, so the topic of discussion for space news, well, we're kind of shuffling it with the Transporter 14 mission, guys, is Rook, Jared Isaacman, the former next administrator of NASA, posted about, there was this footage of F-18 or F-14s getting wrecked, and he replied, "There is another." Why you gotta do him like that? Yeah, that's a good point. He said this: "If my recent time in DC and the political elections I've made serve any purpose, it should be to get a Tomcat out of the boneyard and bring the turkey back to life in honor of the USN heritage. No idea how successful I will be. They will take an act of Congress, but it can be done." So what I've been doing here is looking around the boneyard. Pima's F-14 is inside, if I remember. It's in one of these hangars. I think it's in that one. I've been looking around the boneyard. He said, they're going to get him out of the boneyard. They're going to get him out of the boneyard. Well, the boneyard is across the street from the Pima Air and Space Museum. And there are F-14s over here. We've counted 7. I see 7 of them. If they might have one undercover or something.
This is space. I'm in space.
Chuck! Thanks to Hokie for your gifted sub. In tradition of America, using weird ways to state a size or how long something has been, I've been sub for 4.2 pregnancies. Any unit but the metric system, Chuck. Maybe check the latest pictures at the boneyard. I'm pretty sure those are the latest ones. Okay, these are the latest ones. The photogrammetry wasn't. These are the latest ones. These were taken on February 23rd. I bet those are shells. I don't think so. I don't think these are shells. Now, guys, there was a lot of F-14s made. We made, I think it was, I think Grumman made a lot of them. Like, let's see, what's their unit production? 712. The thing is that with the F-14, well, Iran uses them, or used them. They don't use them anymore. They've been all deposed as of recent. No, I don't want to hear your opinion about that. The F-14s are wrecked. I think everybody can agree on that one. So because an adversarial nation had this type of technology, they chose to retire it. They chose to retire it in 2006 and then promptly scrapped the entire fleet. They took the planes apart and put them into a gigantic paper shredder. The reason why is because someone was buying F-14 parts on the black market to help keep Iran's fleet of F-14s flying. Because after some political stuff went down in 1979, we had been supplying them, the US had been supplying them with F-14s, and then they didn't after that. Let's say they cut off manufacturer support for F-14s after that. So the entire fleet of F-14s that we had left over when we retired the plane, we scrapped all of them. You're seeing the fruits of that labor in current political news, if you're wondering. Not the F-14 stuff, the other stuff. But see, fellas, I've counted 7. Or 8. I have 8. I've seen 8 at the Boneyard in various condition. Now, I'll be honest with you, dudes. Everybody's gonna say, "Oh, these are just shells. These are just shells." And there's plenty of F-14s around. There's plenty of them. Aircraft on display. A lot of them ended up becoming gate guardians and stuff, or they're just kind of chilling. But the thing about these ones that are just shells, like the one at Evergreen or the one at Intrepid, is that they're a shell. That's just the airframe. There's no engines. There's no computers. There's no nothing. It's just an airframe. It's just the chassis of the thing. That's the one at Cradle of Aviation. These aren't fully kitted out. They're missing a ton of parts. They're missing all the guts, basically, right? They're all over the place, dude. Now these are real F-14s, but they're hollowed out. They took all the good stuff out, all the cool stuff, because if you're making a display, well, there's this thing about fighter planes that I hear from a lot of people that work on them and pilots themselves. Well, fighter planes like to leak. They like to leak a lot. Oil, gas, whatever. They like to leak. But that's how you know that there's stuff in them. Because if it's not leaking, that means there's no oil in it. And you're not getting very far without oil. So, obviously, they can't just go towing around fully functioning F-14s to these museum sites, or else it's just going to leak everywhere. You know? An Edgar suit, basically. Yep. If it isn't leaking, don't fly it. Exactly. Exactly. So, all of these are just shells. There's no engines in them. There's no fuel tanks. They just look operable, but they're not. Now, here's the thing. Actually, are these F-14As? Damn, dude, there's a lot of those around. It's because if you go and look and read about them, it's because F-14As are kind of pieces of junk. Those are the ones that Iran was using. They're not very good. They really had a lot of bugs to fix with the F-14A, and then they had the B, and then the D variant is the one that you saw get used the most. Now, these ones are all shells. There's plenty of shells everywhere. But the thing is that the ones at the Boneyard most likely aren't. Now, why do I say that? Well, if you look at these F-14s, they still got covers all over them. They got covers over everything. All the vents, everything has been covered up. Unlike this one, which has the canopy open, right, and it hasn't been fogged over. I don't think those are shells. I could be wrong, but you wouldn't box up one of these things and seal it all up if there wasn't components inside of it that you cared about. Just like these A-10s over here. These A-10s, see how they're covered in plastic? They have this plastic wrap that goes over them that protects stuff from the sun. All the useful stuff has that. Like those T-38s. Canopies are all covered up. Now, if you look at some of the older planes that are here that are just kind of chilling, like let's take these B-52s that are all cut up, right? You don't see as much plastic wrap over these things. They're just kind of sitting there. See what I'm saying? They're just kind of hanging out. They don't have the coverings over them. The planes that they do want to keep that are complete, that have moving parts, are covered up. Those F-14s over there that I just saw, where were they? I lost them. There's so many freaking planes here. Those F-14s over here are all covered up. I'm going to go ahead and guess that those are probably the last airworthy airframes in existence. Because the other ones very recently. Yeah. So, if Rook, long story short, if Rook thinks he can get one out of the Boneyard and bring it back, if he's saying that, that tells me that those planes are still complete. Once again, we've counted 8 F-14 frames in the Boneyard. There's those 4.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
There's another one up here just kind of hanging out. There's 5. Then up here, 6. There's one right there. So did we save the endangered Tomcats? And then down here, where is it? Yeah, we found 7 and 8. I'm gonna go ahead and guess that 7 and 8 are not operable. Oh, there's a cockpit from one right there. So let's say 8.5. Yeah, Olean, what is the purpose of these boneyards? Spare parts. Out in the desert, stuff doesn't rust, doesn't corrode. You can leave a plane outside, and it's probably better than leaving it in a hangar out here, dude. You just gotta cover it up, because the sun will roast some of this stuff, dude. The F-117 was right next to the 14 on the tour path, I think. So, between the 8 airframes that they have there, I think I'm inclined to agree with Rook. I think that there's enough to make at least one airworthy plane. Problem is, what the hell are you gonna do with it? What is the oldest frame in the yard, you think? Most likely a B-52. I'll bet you it's one of these. Oh, yeah, Cyborg, I got you. This is the one we have at Tycho. Yeah. Wait a minute, goalie. Hold on a second. Yo, the engines are still in it. Interesting. Skyhawks would be in the running for the oldest plane. I still can't believe that the B1 has 50,000 pounds more payload than the B-52. Yeah, you guys don't want an F-14A or B. What variant is the one at Tycho, goalie? It's an F-14D. That's the one you want. That's the one that saw the most use, guys. F-14As are pieces of junk. The one in Titusville is an F-14A, and that's why the engines are still in it. The Valiant Air Command Warbird Museum. It's an F-14A. It's caca. That's why the engines are still in that thing. I mean, still, whatever. I'd prefer the A variant over nothing, dude. Yeah, there's your ramp intake. Killer. Cool plane, man. But I'm just saying, like, Rook seems to think it can be done, right? He seems to think it can be done, and I don't think we need to worry about them using those F-14 parts anymore. So I was looking at my closest flight museum, and today I learned the only SR-71 outside the U.S. is on display in Duxford. Cool. Duxford is a good museum, Chuck. I've never been, but I've seen pictures. Lots of pictures. What model was the one that landed with the missing wing? That was an F-15, Yogman. Yeah. That was an F-15, not an F-14. The F-14 will not fly with one wing. It will not get very far. But I hope Rook can get it done, man. Please do it. AX4 is back on the books. Yeah. The Axiom 4 mission is targeting 2:31 a.m. on Wednesday morning. That's 2:31 a.m. Eastern time. So it looks like tomorrow's stream is going to be a little bit long. Gonna have to find some stuff to do. No, Journey, I did not. This is the Transporter 14 mission. It's a rideshare mission. We're 2 hours in at this point. Should be getting to the second round of satellite deployment coming here very soon. Yeah, that means we could... Oh no, Tuesday. Not gonna, yeah, I can't play a lot of Summer Car. I was gonna say we could do a long stream for Summer Car. Too bad. How's Kitten Space Agency coming along? Pretty good, Morton. Wish we would get some good space news. I need Starship news or NASA admin news. Hopefully it comes out soon. Could have played Workers. I'm trying to keep the temperature down in here, dude. This is the easiest way to do it, just sitting here talking to you guys. You've seen KSA aero braking video. Which one? Okay. When was it posted? How new is it? Oh, the F-94. Oh, I thought you guys were screwing with it. Yeah, that thing. How hot is it there? Today it got all the way up to 76 here. Yesterday was about 60. It got to about 88 degrees in my shop, and it was like 95 outside. Okay, Phil. got to be cooling off now. 79 outside. And it's still 85 in here. I might open the garage door again to vent all the damn heat because it's a furnace in here. Yeah, the heat isn't bothering me, dudes, to be 100% clear. I just don't want to fry any of my equipment. I'll be right back 1 second. Let me go open the door, see if we can vent out some of the heat. Probably about 10 to 15 degrees hotter in the garage right now than it is outside. That's crazy. Trade the warm weather with you? It's what? No? No? A drum fan. I have one. I think I'll never get used to seeing vintage cars such as like a Willys Jeep being driven casually in the summer. Great car. Or truck. Yeah, Big Pooh. It was like, I don't know. What did we get up to today? Like 32, 33C? It's about the same as you. Pretty toasty. Like I said, I don't mind the heat, dudes. The heat doesn't bother me. Yeah, I'm just worried about frying something. I don't want to fry any equipment. Last. I really want to go to the Air and Space Museum in Spire. That's a great museum, dude. It isn't that far from you. You should go. You could also use this trip to go to Hockenheim since it's just over the river. Dude, you'd be crazy to not do that. Get yourself a swamp cooler. Swamp cooler is a humidifier. That's really not going to help me. That'll make it worse, dude. Axiom is now set to take off early Wednesday morning. Yep. Looks like tomorrow's stream's gonna have to be a little long, huh? This only lasts for like 1 or 2 weeks, dudes. And then it'll just go back to normal. It's just these weeks that get really bad. Don't worry about it. We good. Fun fact of the Hockenheim ring. You have a good view on it from Autobahn 6. You have a good view on it from Autobahn 6. There are reasons I know this, and it's not Google Maps knowledge. Huh. Any plans for the 4th? I'm taking the first week of July off. Spoiled fruit. Yeah, first week of July is off completely. What do you think of the F-14 at Tulsa? It seems to be in good condition. It's probably a shell. Most of these, I really don't think many of these are actually like flying planes. They're probably shells. I mean, let me see. Let me look at a picture. Oh boy, an Insta reel. I don't know, man. It might be complete. It doesn't look like it, but it's hard to tell. I'd have to go look at the dang thing. Oh, no, it's got its engines. The engines are in it. Interesting. Apparently, a lot more of these have engines in them than you might think. Is it an A model? Don't know. Give me 1 second, I'm checking. It is an A. Yep. Yep. It's an A model. Favorite airplane? It depends, dude. Depends on the era, to be honest with you. Favorite jet? Once again, I don't have an all-time favorite, because if I was going to say all-time favorite plane, I'd just say the space shuttle. You know? Like, I choose planes from different eras. Like, from the Cold War era, I like F-4s. F-4s are my guy. I love those planes. But yeah, F-4s make me very happy. There's still plenty of them sitting around here, but the thing is, in the Boneyard, but the thing is,
Hello, everyone,
they're coming back.
Back
they use them for target practice, which is why there's only a couple left.
We're currently just about a minute away or so from the third relight of our Merlin vacuum engine on the Falcon 9 second stage, which is also known as SES-4, second stage engine start 4. And once that short burn, which is going to last just about 1 second, once that short burn completes, it'll be followed by the next batch of payload deployments.
As a reminder, today we are delivering 70 payloads across 66 deployments. We already have deployed in the first batch of 30, and now we have 36 left to go. There will be 35 deployments in this round, and our final deployment will come after a short break. For now, let's stand by for SES-4 and SECO-4 callouts happening shortly.
They don't use QF4, Meatwad? Sure.
And we are expecting to have live views. We don't have live views just this moment, so you can follow along with our map on the screen for the Stage 2
They don't have contact with the ground station
trajectory.
right now.
But we are expecting to gain live views again just before SES-4.
Playing KSB, Toothless. That's what they're doing. Just got, oh, you gotta light the stage. Slide it again. It's fine. Yeah. F4s are my favorite. Because I want to go fast. That and it's just superbly cool looking. But see, that's like 4th gen planes, right? Or 3rd gen planes. Oh, there we go. Got a relight. It's just a little quick guy. Falcon's just changing its inclination over and over again. Dash 200 inch of power.
Nominal orbit insertion.
You work with you. Okay, Miwad. Well, there you go.
And there we heard that.
I will defer to your judgment.
Of
but that means like you're not blowing away F4s anymore, because that not blowing away F4s is that would be the cool thing to do. Like, not wrecking those things and, like, giving one to me.
Next deploy should come in about 3 minutes. In case you're just tuning in, we had an on-time liftoff at 2:25 p.m. Pacific time and recovered our Falcon 9 booster for its 26th landing. After the first batch of payload deployments, the second stage had its 3rd successful ignition. And you just saw that 4th MVAC ignition and
you could draw, Jeff? That's cool.
So we're now standing by for the next wave of payload deployments.
Forgive me if this is already asked. Is the second stage going to be deorbited? Yes, it will be deorbited, yes. I mean, or not, it's too big, it's too easy to hit. Cool. Odd Unicorn, what's going on?
As mentioned earlier, a full list of the payloads on tonight's mission is available on spacex.com/launches.
So, you want about that, like,
familiar,
giving me
our
one?
transporter missions are
I have enough space in my
rideshare
backyard,
flights to
just saying.
sun-synchronous orbit.
Like, we could do it.
SpaceX's rideshare program was expanded to accommodate even more small sats looking for rides to orbit. Falcon 9 is also launching the bandwagon missions, which are a separate line of rideshare missions that deliver spacecraft to mid-inclination orbit rather than to transporter sun-synchronous orbit.
I'm just kidding, but also.
And as a reminder, we have 36 unique deployment events that'll begin in just a little over a minute from now. These will individually separate from Falcon 9's second stage, one right after another.
SpaceX has no plans on
and
reusing
we should
Falcon
hear
9's second
callouts for
stages.
each of these over the nets as they are deployed. And again, we are expecting to have live views just as we do right now, which you are seeing from the Falcon 9 second stage. Looking forward at the payloads attached to the payload adapter there on your screen. So hoping to have great views of these deployments. Again, coming up in about 40 seconds or so, we'll begin the second batch of payload deployments for this mission.
I think, man, Julie, just today's your birthday. Well, happy birthday, buddy. Why is it so hard for Rook to get an F-14 to restore? They scrapped the entire fleet because they were afraid about parts going to Iran. 1062. There's not many F-14 parts left in existence. Yep.
We are expecting payload deployments to begin for the second batch in about 5 seconds or so. We're going to stand by, listen,
I put it on
and
top
watch
of the
as
garage.
these payloads deploy.
Gate Guardian. All right, here we go. Should be coming back to deployment here.
Stitch deploy confirmed. Padre deploy confirmed.
Didn't see it.
ADDQ deploy confirmed.
Or was it? I wasn't paying attention.
Lemur 2 Krish deploy confirmed. Satoru T3 deploy confirmed. Shaggy deploy confirmed.
Ruh-roh, Raggy!
Peruse T2 deploy confirmed.
Oh, geez, about to deploy. Oh, no. Like Zoinks, yo, the satellites.
A3VA deploy
Gone,
confirmed.
Scoob.
Lilo deploy confirmed.
Come on, baby.
Bifrost deploy confirmed.
We get some better cameras, SpaceX? Jeez. Hello.
Time flies deploy confirmed.
No, I'm not melting. Guy came in, looked at me, and said, all right, cool, and then walked away.
A2A deploy confirmed.
Are you saying Brimo distracted me from the satellite deployment and I missed it?
Harvicker 2 deploy confirmed.
How dare you? No, Transporter 14. These are actually, like, not Starlinks. That's why I'm covering it.
Harvicker 3 deploy confirmed.
Oh, there we go. I saw it. I saw it. I saw it. Yes. All right.
Lemur 2 Zhejiang 2 deploy confirmed.
Cat says hi. She says hi.
Scooby deploy confirmed.
Like Zoinks, yo.
Heo 8 deploy confirmed.
Oh, there it goes.
Heo 2 deploy confirmed.
I saw it up there. That can't be a coincidence. One of the satellites was called Shaggy, the other one was called Scoob. That can't be a coincidence, man. These ones are all going to the same orbital inclination path. The reason
Heo 3 deploy confirmed.
The reason why Falcon 9 had to do a couple of on-orbit burns was because they had to change the...
ISI 2 deploy confirmed.
There it goes. We had to change the inclination a couple of times, or they did. I didn't have to. No.
ISI 3 deploy confirmed.
Oh, center. Oh, bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Heo 9 deploy confirmed.
Yeet! That one was right up close.
Heo 5 deploy confirmed.
Yeet! Cool.
ISI 1 deploy confirmed.
I didn't see that one.
Acadia 7 deploy confirmed. Heo 4 deploy confirmed.
Over there.
MuSat 3 deploy confirmed. ISI 5 deploy confirmed.
I don't see it. Camera's getting all fragmented, though. Oh, there it goes. Center screen. Bye-bye. Bye!
Ion SCV Charismatic Carless deploy confirmed.
SCV, good to go, sir. Into online. Go ahead, jack on. First Lady. Good day, Command. Shields up, weapons online.
ISI-4, deploy confirmed.
I didn't see it. I think we heard it already, Space Ghost. Why do you ask?
EM-10, deploy confirmed.
My life for ire. I long for combat. Starcraft.
Goose 3, deploy confirmed.
Roughly how big are these sats? So, Tim, they range in size anywhere from the size like...
Heo 6, deploy confirmed.
They range anywhere in size between like a mini fridge and a shoebox. There's all different types of satellites. Like, the smallest ones are about this big. Big ones are, like I said, about a mini fridge. Did they call what ground station they're talking to? Rhenus, I think, is the current. I think. I couldn't tell if that was South America or South Africa that they were coming up to in the map view. I couldn't tell. If it's Africa, they have a station in Gabon. If it's South America, there's one at the very southern tip of Argentina.
Lyra 3, separation confirmed.
There's Lyra 3. Space Ghost, there it is. We didn't see it, but there it was. There was the call. Yeah, well, that's a good process of elimination, dude. Look at all that CNC cut aluminum that's about to burn up. Not only is it billet, but it's anodized billet, which is, yeah, that's, what are you gonna do? Looking forward to crew cab charger deploy. We'll, yo, my back's feeling pretty good. We'll probably get to work on that, in the coming days. South Africa do track from Heartbeat Shook, but the SpaceX have a ground tracking station there, Prima. I'm not sure.
We're currently still in the second batch of deployments for this mission today for Transporter 14. We are waiting one more payload deploy for this batch to be completed. We are expecting that in just about a minute from now. So far, we have deployed 64 payloads.
Yeah, baby.
We are expecting to deliver 70 payloads today. Again, currently in the second batch of 3 batches for today's mission. Again, we got some good live views looking forward at the payload adapter. We still have a few more payloads attached as we're working through the Transporter 14 mission today.
What, Chuck?
ISI-6, deploy confirmed.
There we go. There's
all payloads in second separation event have successfully separated.
There you go.
And with that 65th deployment, we have just over 15 minutes before the Merlin vacuum engine on the second stage restarts for a short deorbit burn. After that, our final payload will separate from the second stage.
Oh.
This is a little bit different from most launches. Typically, the deorbit burn is performed after the last payload is deployed. Our final payload for today, Mission Possible, is a re-entry capsule. So it will deploy after the deorbit burn, which will enable it to re-enter and splash down on a similar trajectory as Falcon 9's second stage.
That's pretty sick, dude.
The exploration company's capsule is carrying 25 client payloads to orbit before performing that controlled atmospheric re-entry and splashdown. The demonstration will validate critical systems such as propulsion, avionics, re-entry aerodynamics, thermal protection, and maritime recovery. And we should see the deorbit burn and deployment of Mission Possible right after the break, so stay tuned. We'll see you back here in about 10 minutes at T plus 2 hours and 38 minutes.
Cool. Hey. I'm not missing a deorbit burn. It's very rare that you get to see a deorbit burn from Falcon. Also, these SpaceX gems, mint. Mint. Nah, SpaceX doesn't claim their music, Martin. We're good. Why don't they use Starlink like on Starship? Falcon 9 was developed before Starlink was. Changing the antennas on a spacecraft S requires a great amount of paperwork. I'm not saying SpaceX couldn't get it done, but yeah, it's clear that they don't want to change the, they don't want to go to the FCC and equip Falcon 9 with additional Starlink or whatever to you know, redesign the vehicle. Remember, like, redesigning an antenna for a rocket is like redesigning an engine. You don't want to screw with its certification for all the missions that it's good to fly. So just keep it the way that it is. Yeah, it's test shot Starfish. Now, Starship, on the other hand, it was engineered with it from the start. Would appreciate a better camera on the first stage, though. That's correct, NG. They're just not going to with Starship on the horizon. There we go. We got a picture from on board. That means they got a reacquisition of signal. Just joined. Why do we get to see a deorbit? One of the payloads is a re-entry vehicle, Panic. There's the remaining 4 payloads, other than the reentry vehicle, Mercury, are ones that stay on the vehicle for scientific reasons. Either that or they're part of the reentry vehicle. I'm not 100% sure. I'm sure they'll talk about it, though. Your guess, Yogbin, is release 4, deorbit, and release the capsule. Perhaps, yeah. Shaggy, Scooby, Lilo, and Stitch are Hubble Network Bluetooth satellites built by Endurosat. Oh, cool. So those were those ones that were in the foreground, Sidewinder. That's pretty neat.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Hey, Command Racer, 10-month resub. Thanks, man. Still going 2 hours in? Yeah. They're gonna, dude, we're gonna see a deorbit burn from a Falcon. We never get to see that. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm reading about B-47, so if you see me looking up, I'm reading about those. Looking at the Boneyard kind of got me on a little bit of a plane kick again. Sorry. Wondering how many B-47s are left. I mean, dude, I'm just looking at this like through a bunch of different planes, like all the planes that I saw around here, like F-4s and T-38s and F-15s. We make a lot of airplanes, dude. It's pretty cool. Sorry, not sorry. Yeah, pretty much. Anyway. That's good to know that they're not using F-4s for QF-4s anymore. Because, yeah, you can get rid of F-16s. I don't want those. I want those. Those things are cool. F-4s are the best. They're not, but, you know. Look at all of them. That makes me really happy, considering this field was full of F-4s at one point. Good thing they're not using alt F-4s either. Well, no, that would terminate the program. What is your opinion on the correct number of planes? What do you mean the correct number of planes? There's like 10,000 F-16s in the world. That's crazy, man. I mean, how many F-4s did they make? Hold on. Like, how many? 5,100. Huh. Interesting. Now, F-16s? Hold on. They're still making them, dude. Jeez. Oh, nice, God. That's cool. See, that's as of June 2018. There's got to be more than that. Hello. Say hi to my friend Robin in chat. I got him watching you for this mission. Hi. What's up? What's up? How many MiG-21s were made? Who cares? I'm not even sure we could get that information. Oh no, they have production numbers. 11,496. That's a lot of MiGs. I really bet the 16 has the best sortie rate of all the fighter jets. Oh, dude. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Deorbit burn. Let's see.
We are back for the conclusion of SpaceX's Transporter 14 mission. Before the break, we saw the second batch of payloads deployed, which had 35 in that group. And now we are waiting for the second stage Merlin vacuum engine to perform a deorbit burn. And that should happen less than 1 minute from now. It's a short burn. It'll last just 5 seconds before shutdown.
And this will be the fifth burn, technically, for this mission. As we mentioned earlier before the break, this is a little bit different from most launches. We typically complete the deorbit burn before the last payload is deployed, but today our final payload, Mission Possible, is a re-entry capsule. So the deorbit burn will occur prior to payload deploy, and it will enable it to re-enter and splash down on a similar trajectory as Falcon 9's second stage.
Crazy.
And after the deorbit burn, that final payload deployment should occur at about T plus 2 hours and 43 minutes. So we do have a few minutes before that payload deploy.
Dude, if you're in Southern Europe,
the deorbit burn coming up here,
you might be able to see this burn if it's clear outside. And by might, I mean you absolutely will. Anybody in Italy, Southern France, or Spain should probably go outside and look south. Exploration companies doing the test they couldn't do on Ariane 6. Flight 1 because Stage 2 failed to deorbit. RIP. Oh, nice. That's cool. Yeah, right now she's kind of approaching Libya. It's kind of the border of Libya and Algeria here.
Now we are coming up on that deorbit burn here in a few seconds.
There it goes. There's the deorbit burn. Look at it decelerate. Yeah, I'm not sure if people would have seen that. It's very quick. Is Merlin subject to ullage?
And you just saw on your screen the
nominal deorbit burn.
Ullage? What do you mean? No, the tanks are subject to ullage, not engines.
Just saw on your screen and just heard that call out. The deorbit burn performed on the MVAC engine call out was nominal. That is the 5th and final burn for the Transporter 14 mission. Now we have our last payload deployment coming up in just under 3 minutes from now.
They're going to passivate the stage here, which is why you see that vent doing work. They will deploy that last payload. I'm wondering if they're going to swing it around, though.
This upcoming deployment will be for the Mission Possible deploy. It is the Exploration Company's second space capsule prototype. This capsule is carrying 25 client payloads into orbit before performing a controlled atmospheric re-entry and splashdown. This was developed in just under 3 years, and it's going to include 5 operational phases.
There's a capsule up at the very top of the payload attachment fitting, dude. A little mini capsule. It's not crude.
Operations while the capsule remained attached to the Falcon 9 upper stage. Then we're going to have attitude control and stabilization following separation from Falcon 9. Then we'll have autonomous atmospheric re-entry guided by the onboard flight software and the GNC system, and reaching peak temperatures of approximately 2,000 degrees Celsius. Afterwards, we'll have dual-stage parachute deployment and ocean splashdown, at which point there will be a capsule recovery at sea, and the payloads will be returned to Europe.
They're going to recover them out by Hawaii here. Do you work in the industry?
This demonstration will validate critical systems such as...
No, Frosty. My job here is to teach people about what goes on in the industry. I know a lot of people that do, though. I've worked with NASA on things before, but it was more communications things than anything. But no, I don't work in the industry right now. Do you work in the industry? No, I just find this stuff really cool, and I like talking with people about it. I teach people what's going on, like the deorbit burn. We've never seen that before.
Again, we are just about a minute away from the Mission Possible deployment. If you're just now joining, we had an on-time liftoff at 2:25 p.m. Pacific time and recovered our Falcon 9 booster for its 26th launch and landing.
See, capsules
Today we
up
are
at the top.
sending 70 payloads to orbit, including CubeSats, microsats, re-entry capsules, and orbital transfer vehicles carrying 3 of those payloads to be deployed at a later time. And we are through 2 of 3 batches of deployments. Again, we are awaiting the final deployment, the Mission Possible capsule, coming up here in about 20 seconds.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to see it. It's up at the very top up there.
Mission Possible capsule deploy confirmed.
Yeah, we couldn't see it, man. Come on. The Exploration Company.
And with that confirmation, we have successfully deployed all Transporter 14 payloads. The Mission Possible capsule is now on its way to complete its mission. What an incredible mission today. We would like to thank all of our rideshare customers for entrusting us with their spacecraft today. Just to recap, that was 70 payloads across 66 unique deployment events.
Look up, you might see some re-entry.
We also want to say thank you to the Range and Federal Aviation Administration for their support, and to you,
I would still do it.
As a reminder, this launch marks our 17th rideshare program launch, including both transporter and bandwagon missions. To date, SpaceX has launched more than 1,200 payloads to orbit for more than 130 customers across our entire rideshare program.
A full listing of today's payloads can be found over at spacex.com/launches. And for more launch coverage, be sure to check that same site for the most up-to-date information, or follow us at SpaceX on X. And with that, we'll be bringing our webcast to an end. Thank you again.
Well, that was the Transporter 14 mission. We covered the whole dang spread, man. That's pretty cool. And we got to talk about space and airplanes, which is pretty sweet. Did you ever do the selfie sat? No. So what about those other payloads? What about them? We saw most of them deploy, which is pretty cool. Norway is cloudy. Could the re-entry still be visible? Maybe. It depends on how cloudy it is. You can see the second stage! Oh, really? Picture it didn't happen, Wolian. And we got to dig into the Boneyard. That's pretty cool. I'm still just looking at all these F4s. Look at all of them. Look at all of them. Look at the herd of F4 Phantoms. The cloud cover was very nice for a small moment. Well, that's good. Oh, yes. Yes. Nice. Pretty sick. Look at all those chickens. No chance, Cloudy. I hate the weather here. That sucks. I'm sorry. You had a good view of the Starlink launch this morning here in southern Maryland. Glad we are getting northeast launches again. You could see it. Ah, man, now I feel bad. Because I should have... Well, that one would have been hard to wake up for, but you get the idea. I got to get back into the swing of things, cover more launches. But believe it or not, that Transporter 14 mission had a booster, the 1071 that was on it, that completed its 26th flight. Can you believe that? Where's that Boneyard? Tucson, Arizona. The F4 is so ugly. The F4 is not ugly. The F4 is amazing looking. What are you talking about? Dude, the Phantom looks amazing. Anybody that thinks that it doesn't look awesome is completely wrong. Now, it doesn't fly, like, it flies good enough. It's not particularly maneuverable, but no, you don't need to worry about that when you can go 1,500 miles an hour. Don't worry. You don't need to worry about that. It goes Mach 2, dude. Don't worry about it. It looks awesome, and it goes fast. That's all you need to know. And the Phantom proved that with enough thrust, even a brick will fly. Yeah, that's fine. Now, that should read pretty well for somebody like me. I like the space shuttle. Also a brick with a lot of thrust behind it, okay? Do you see an ongoing motif here? It's just a cool guy. It's just a cool guy. Look at it. It's just a cool guy. It's a chill dude. It's a chill dude that can go Mach 2. What? Oh! Hello. Man, this thing's been used. Missing a knob right there. Use the F4 airframe as a space fighter. What? What? Hey, look at that. Look at that. Look, it's got shark teeth on it, man. It's cool. Yes. Probably flies better than an F-104. Yeah. Are you playing DCS now? I don't know. Oh! No. Look at it. It's so unhappy. Nice dodge. Lightly used. No low ballers. I know what I have. Dude, F4s look amazing. I'm sorry. I get it. It's not like a hallmark for maneuverability and air superiority. And I get it. No machine gun. But also, look at that damn plane. That thing looks awesome. It looks amazing. And there's a reason why people still use them. The Turks and the Greeks still use F4s. In fact, here, I'll show you. Check out this paint job. This was earlier this year. Because they can't afford much else. Well, that's pretty cool, man. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good paint job. What about a Harrier? Harriers are cool. It's one of the only planes around with RCS on it. Harrier has a reaction control system like spacecraft, but it's a reaction control system that works off tap-off air, which is actually really smart. That's genius, to be honest with you. That's a very cool way to do that. Yeah, you heard that right. Harrier has RCS. That's how it can do this. How it can actually hover and move around. It uses bleed air. Yep. You eat turkey for breakfast? I eat turkey for Thanksgiving. Dodge must have gotten all the Flightline vehicle contracts throughout the years. I mean, Farm, they were... Yeah, they must have, dude, because all those stubby trucks that they made, the stubby airplane tugs that are Dodge Rams with the back cut off with a Cummins in it. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You've probably seen bajillion of those things, man. The puffer system. Yeah, there you go, Nader. Have you guys talked about the B2? What about the B2? What about it? There's 19 of them. That's all you need to know. How smexy is it? It is a pretty good plane, dude. You know, I've been told that the B2 can run it can run really, really long duration missions, like up to 30-hour plus sorties. I've been told. I've been told that, you know. It's got a toilet, it's got a bed, it's got a microwave. Actually, it doesn't have a bed. It has a space where you can put a cot down. To be 100% honest. B-21 is going to replace it soon. Harrier photo? Ah, very nice. Very nice spot. It either goes east or west. No one really knows, or except for that one guy. Dude, I can't believe that, man. You believe that? It was that one dude. The B-21's going to replace it, though. There's the B-21. I don't think it's a replacement. The B-21 is meant to replace the B-1 and B-2 by 2040, possibly the B-52 after that. They had a little Mitsubishi Dodge ice cream truck looking thing that the Expeditor drove in the 80s and 90s. Interesting. We need to hit... The B-52 needs to hit a century of active duty. It needs to do that because... Just to say that, yeah, we've been operating this plane for 100 years. Drill at that picture. That's a nice picture, man. I'm just looking at that B-21 picture. That's a sweet freaking plane. They can't get rid of the buff. The buff is forever. It is forever. The B-52 will eventually get warp nacelles. Oh, shoot. All right, dudes. There's not really much else space news, guys. Let's see what we got. There is a couple more things with some flyovers from Starbase from RGB and stuff, which is pretty cool. But yeah, they're not. They're still working on Pad B. You understand that the M16 family of weapons might hit the Century Mark II. Yeah, it's a good design. What can I say? Man, this thing's cool. Then there's a picture from the production site as well. This is from RGV aerial here. Dude, it's like they're playing cities, man. You can see that they've started to lay down aggregate for the Gigabay right there. And it looks like they built this building right here. They extended it. See how the roof is different right there? That's been there for a while, though, I'm pretty sure. How big is the Star Factory compared to Factory X for Falcon 9? Probably that center section is Hawthorne, maybe, like from here to there. It's way bigger, dude. I've driven by this building many times. It's quite large. What did Starship Gazer catch? Oh, well, that's going to Florida. Cool. The deuce of the Ma Deuce is already there. Yeah, that's right. 1921 for the 50 cal. They should have never stopped using the 1911, but wanted to get them Italian stuff, so we used the Beretta. Want to get them Italian contracts. What are the chances that that's for pad A? I would say slim and none, Dave. I'm going to guess from this Starship Gazer shot that that's most likely for Florida. You just got to think about the state of the pads, right? Pad A is nowhere near needing one of those flame diverters, right? It's not even close. Pad A is not even close to being. It's not like it's still in flight configuration for like Starship Block 1, right? Like, it's not even close, right? So now the pad at 39A in Florida, that is a lot closer to receiving one of those things. We know they're digging the trench for it right now. Surprised it was made here and not in Florida. That's because the GSE build site in Florida is not working just yet. So Sanchez right now is over here. Sanchez is the only place where they build out GSE. They're building it all up in here. And then there is an industrial site in Florida. It's by what's called Hangar X. So if we go over to Florida, and we go down in here, zoom in right there, you can see it. See it right there? Oh wait, no, that's the photograph. That right there. See? That's the industrial site. It's nowhere near as like online as Sanchez is. I mean, in this, keep in mind, this is pretty old. This is pretty old. But SpaceX is, see this area right here? Like this entire swath of land? They're going to build an area bigger than, they're going to build a factory there bigger than Star Factory, dude. Isn't it pad 1 instead of pad A? No, I call them, well, yeah, but I call them this pad and that pad. Any chance there will be an SLS Block 2 launch? Would love to see any US in action. SLS is testing a Block 2 SRB on the 26th. Does that help? On Thursday. And there are contracts out for that. Whether that happens or not, I don't know. Do they live stream it? Yes. Yes, they do.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Dude, these pictures, the photogrammetric pictures, so like the 3D buildings pictures here of KSC are like at least 15 years old at this point. Which is kind of nutty to me. Oh, you guys are talking about down here. That is a SpaceX facility. At least we think it is. I'm not really sure what they're doing over there, but I think they make tiles here. I think. They were making Starship parts here at one point, but they decided not to. And that's your backyard article? Nice. Some other goodies hanging around in your backyard then. That's not a, that ain't a crane part. Is that a ship? It's a rocket. It is stainless steel, but it ain't a Starship. Become Florida Man. You too can have an Atlas missile in your backyard. Oh. Also. Yeah, see that? See the test stand? That's pretty cool. Just saying. But I want a Minuteman 3. And no. No, you can't have it. Go away. Where's that damn old F-14? Should be out here somewhere. There's an F-101. F5. 16. C-47. Where's the F-14? Dang it. It is, no, he's not here. What is that? What's that doing there? Harry's got some SAR pictures of Roberts Road. Oh, that is huge, dude. Man. That's gigantic. It is, Everest. Yeah, yeah. Cool. Yeah, see, they're doing work here. That's what Roberts Road looks like. See, you can actually see the footprint for the Gigabay right there. Actually, hold on. Let me look at how the pilings are placed here. Look, dudes. Processing bays. And an internal structure. See where the pilings are? It's an internal structure building. It's not going to have the flying buttresses like the mega bays do at Starbase. But look, you can see in between, right here, there's going to be wide open spaces, and you're going to have processing bays. That's crazy, man. That's pretty close to the design that we theorized, dude. 24 bays, dude. 24 freaking bays. Yep, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. That's crazy, dude. And if I'm looking at this right, each one of these is a high bay for the most part. Not a mega bay. It's like as big as one of those. So I'm pretty sure you could fit a bunch in each one of these cells, like maybe 2. But it looks like they got a lot of the pilings done on this side, not so much over here. Interesting, 1 exit on each aisle. Yeah. That's awesome, dude. So that is... please hold. That is right here. On this parcel of land right there. So if we look at the roads, right, and then we look at the SAR picture, see the road right there? That should be about lined up. That's what that looks like right now, dude. That's a big factory. And then the Gigabay is up here. Dude, they are doing freaking work, man. That's crazy. That's all up in here. Road's being upgraded too. Yep, they're widening that road so they can take starships out that way. Cool. All right, guys. Well, hey, thanks for looking at those pictures from Harry and Starship Gazer, dudes. Yeah, that's pretty much gonna do it for the space news today. So tomorrow we're gonna have a nice big old stream. What I'm going to try, I'm gonna attempt to do this. I don't know how far we're gonna get, but the Axiom mission. The Axiom mission, the AX4 mission, is at 2:31 on Wednesday morning. So I'm going to try to do a very long stream tomorrow. We're going to try to go basically noontime, our regular start time, early hours, space news, and then something. After hours, I guess, all the way to the AX4 mission. So that should end up being about a 14-hour stream, I think. Probably play Kerbal tomorrow after Space News or something. Hey, another Mike. Thanks for the $10 super chat, dude. Dude, I think it'd be wise for SpaceX to skip the static fire for 37 since 36 failure. No, that's not wise. That's really stupid. You should rebuild the test stand and test it because the test, clearly Starship has some things with it that the test stand did to it that made it angry. So you got to figure out what and why and then test it on another test stand to make sure. And at T-minus 20, it scrubs. Anyway, so fellas, because we're going to do a nice big stream tomorrow, I'm not going to do after hours tonight. So I hope you guys enjoyed Space News. I hope you guys enjoyed the Transporter 14 coverage with your boy. I will see you guys tomorrow for a nice long stream. And yeah, we'll go from there. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Hope you guys all had a good Space News. Good stream. Not going until Electron. No, I need to get some sleep so we can do a long one tomorrow. So thank you very much for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the Space and Rockets review. I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Nice long stream. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great night.